Boom, 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 boom. What's going on, Mike? It's Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Mike and Mish Show. Mission accomplished. Second night in a row. What's up, dude?
What's the deal, man? You know, we were just talking about Batman, right? Why the hell does Batman have that stupid ass voice? I'm Batman.
See, I think
what is that stupid shit?
See, I think in the 80s when Michael Keaton set the tone for Batman, he was like, I'm Batman. He said it cool, smooth, kind of a whisper. Christian Bale came around and was like, what did you do with the girl? Where's the drugs? You know what I mean?
Worst superhero or anti-hero, whatever the frig you want to call him. It's the worst voice. I don't know why people stick with it. They should change that shit immediately. The next person that plays the 17th iteration of Batman needs to change the voice. No more of that stupid ass voice.
You know what he should have is a Rhode Island accent and call
it would be
fucking Stunads. He'd be like, hey, where's the drugs, you fucking Stunad?
Well, it'd be better than what they're doing now. I can tell you that. I hate that dumb voice.
Yes. Welcome to another show. Welcome to the Mike and Mish Show. Mission accomplished. MMA and bare knuckle podcast. It's your favorite thing to do on a Thursday night. We have 4 fighters for you tonight. 2 guys that are going to be fighting in Jackson, Mississippi in a couple weeks. We also have 2 fighters that are going to be fighting in Schenectady, New York next week. We have Quentin Henry ready to go. He just dropped off, but he'll be back in a second.
Yes, he will.
He will be fighting Chris Sarro January 29th in Jackson, Mississippi, BKFC Fight Night. Following Quentin will be Alan Belcher of UFC fame, now BKFC fame. He made his debut a few months back against Tony Lopez in Biloxi, Mississippi. He will be fighting again next, 2 weeks from now against Bobo O'Bannon. No offense to Tony Lopez, but that's another big step up in competition for Alan Belcher. That's going to be a great fight for him. And then we're going to fight, and we're going to talk to Mende Cukalevski and Kyle Glasheen, who are both going to be fighting at Cage Wars 50, January 21st next week. With that said, I think we got Quentin ready to go here. Let's go ahead and bring him in. The hero, Quentin Henry. What's
ready, guys? All right.
Yeah. What's up,
buddy?
For
some reason, once y'all started the broadcast, it was like putting the voice in slow mo. It sounded like I was tripping. Am I freaking out right now? Because y'all were just talking normal.
Did you do a whip it right before we started?
No, no whip it.
Someone threw something in your drink tonight.
Bro, you can't just do one whip it.
I know.
You gotta do all of them. That's what they tell me.
I like where you're at.
So you hear, you know what I mean? Listen, so I hear maybe my sister used to go down to the head shop and flirt with the guys behind the counter and get boxes of whippets and crackers and balloons. And maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
I had a cousin that had a problem with it, but it is what it is.
Speaking of which, have you ever seen the show Intervention?
Oh yeah.
There's a woman, right? So I live in Rhode Island, so I feel like this episode, because it's very, to me, it's silly. I feel like it's like a crazy thing to be addicted to. But there's a woman who lives in Newport, right? Or lived in Newport. And her episode was about canned air, like the duster you use for your keyboard. Yeah. You ever see that one? And
that's
she would just
whippets, isn't it?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
She would like buy out the Walmarts and shit around here. She'd just buy every box. And then it would just kind of creep up from the bottom of the screen during the show.
Oh man.
And at one point she was like, I feel like I'm walking on sunshine.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. We had a lady here in town. I was a firefighter for like 9 years, but we had a lady here in town that would it was every so often she would just have a whippets trip in the parking lot. And it's something about when they started, if they've got 20 cans, they're going to do all 20 right then or whatever. But she whipped it out in the parking lot too hard, bro, and was unconscious. And somebody called the cops. It happened 5 or 6 times, I bet, in a year. We found some people that just were I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever.
Jesus. Well, that's a nice conversation to start off the night here.
Damn. Things got weird quick.
Yeah,
man, Quentin knows a lot about whippets.
So does Kyle.
I think we all know too much about whippets and the amount of brain cells. You know what? Nice Coors Banquet. There you go. That's Johnny Lawrence style right there.
I was drinking it before he was.
No, so maybe my buddy Enrique might have rolled up to my buddy Kirk's house when we were seniors in high school with an entire tank of nitrous and was running the balloons right off the tank there, and he may have turned blue and passed out in the driveway. I don't know. Maybe that happened. Maybe it didn't. Anyways, let's move on. Quentin Hero Henry fighting Chris Sarro, January 29th in Jackson, Mississippi. Man, how you feeling? Last time we saw you fight was against Jay Fish, and you looked better than ever. You were in fantastic shape, and you dispatched of your opponent very quickly that evening. How are you doing since?
Man, I never really stopped. Once the train was going, we never quit training camp or anything. Sorry, just make sure my phone's plugged in. We I went straight back to training. My hands were a little sore after that last fight for about, a couple weeks or whatever, but I didn't really take much of a break. And then, I was immediately trying to get on another card. So we instantly just started, right back with what I was doing. So it's not a whole lot's changed. I just feel like I've improved. I've just gotten better since the last time because, all the things that we were working on up until the Fish fight weren't things that we were doing just for him. The things we were doing were just to make me a better fighter. So, I'm just having more time to practice it. And I got to go in there and use a little bit of that in the ring and fill myself out a little bit more. So now, we're just having fun with it.
We didn't talk to you since that fight. So when that jab heard around the world, when you landed that thing, how did that feel? Because I feel like people are still talking about that shit since it happened.
I do that all the time.
Like,
yeah, it's not, I do that a lot in sparring, but it's not just a jab. I'm not sitting there waiting to hit him with the jab. I'm reacting to what they're doing. So, I mean, if he would have came a different direction, he would have caught the right hand. So, it felt good. And I mean, you could tell I really enjoyed it because I gave him a little holler afterwards, because it was like, whoa, I know that shit hurt. And,
a lot of power in that jab, man.
Yeah, because I mean I can't even see it when I throw it. So it just I'm not saying I'm not seeing it, but consciously I don't see it. I'm just reacting. And when it lands, it even surprises me a little bit. But that is something that I've always just stuck behind my jab like that. And I learned a long time ago. And I just think, in that last fight, the difference is, I finally, after the Lieben fight, I started to believe in myself a little bit. And believe in what I could do. And, I just watched that fight that I had with him for as long as it lasted. It was pretty even until I got dropped and couldn't see anymore. And, but I was fighting like garbage. I was fighting just nowhere near like I know how to fight. I was embarrassed just by it, and I was able to hang with him fighting and at my absolute worst. He couldn't do shit with me at my best. And, that's what you saw with Jay Fish, I just think, it's just coming together for me at the right time as far as my skills and my maturity and just kind of accepting that it is my time. It's a big part of it, I feel.
Yeah. And since the last time we talked to you, the current 205-pound champion did lose a fight, but didn't lose his belt. So I don't know where that stands in the midst of things here. But I would imagine that you and Chris are right there at the doorstep for a next shot at that 205 title that still resides on Hector Lombard's shoulder. Have you heard anything about Hector? Like any word out of Hector? Any word from the bosses saying, you show another performance the way you did against Jay Fish, you got that shot? Any conversations like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm being told is that after this fight, if I go out there and put in on a good performance, then that I should be fighting for a title. That's what we're looking for. I'm in line for that. I think that a lot of fans have been calling for it. I'm not one of those guys that's going to say that I should get it, because if I was me looking from the outside, I would say, well, he lost and then he came back. He had one fight that he won. I don't feel like one victory is enough. One fight winning streak is enough to really warrant a title fight. Granted, unless it was against an opponent that was, number one contender or something like that. It's not like I'm fighting bums. It's like I lost to Chris Lieben. It's not like, I got, I got handed by some can that nobody knew. So, but I'm not one to feel like I have to have a certain thing. I feel like at this point it's hard to tell me that I can't. Especially if I go in there and I fight Chris Sarro and beat him. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, but at the same time, he's dropping down from heavyweight. He's a big guy, and the same thing Fish did to me. He's undefeated at heavyweight, comes down to fight me. But I'm welcome to all the challenges. Especially some of these guys that are really heavyweights. Because I'm not actually a heavyweight. I make 205 rather easily. Like I wake up that morning, like last fight, I woke up the morning, me and my coach went to the beach and we hit mitts for like 20 minutes. And then I went back and I was 205, and I was just sitting around all day. Like I drank some stuff I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, I'll sweat a little more just so I can drink something. So I made weight easy, but
that must be nice.
I think Jay Fish, he didn't make weight until like 3 hours after the official weigh-ins was there because he's not a 205.
He's definitely not a 205.
Either he's not a 205 or he just didn't do it the right way. If you're that big, you've got to be pretty disciplined with it. And, I think I joke about this all the time and I put pictures up and hashtags, and I tell them, I'm all killer, no filler. And that's true. Every ounce of body weight I got is for whooping ass. There's no wasted weight. And, when you got these guys that are dropping down from heavyweight and they walk around at 240, 250, it's one thing for them to think that size is going to help them if me and them were just to walk up on a day where they're fresh and I'm fresh. But I'll be damned before anybody on this planet cuts 20 pounds of water weight and whoops my ass the next day. It ain't going to happen. I don't give a shit who you are. So, right. And just the impact that has on your body and having a bad weight cut, unless you'd have to be a whole lot better than me, because when I come in there on fight night, I'm at 100%. I'm like I am on a night that I went to the gym. I'm not showing up, 20 pounds of water. Some of these guys cut that. 20 pounds. I think Jay Fish was like 240 the week of our fight. So that's 35 pounds in a week.
He told me that he cut the last 23 pounds in the last 24 hours, which is fucking bananas to me, man. I mean, I don't know shit about that. The last time I cut weight was high school wrestling 20.
Hey, let me tell you what, how crazy on a scale of 1 to 10, how crazy do you think that sounds to you?
To me,
it sounds nuts.
Yeah. Give me a number, right?
I'm going to give that a 9.
And it's probably about 20, almost probably about double that. Imagine what it would do to your body for you to lose 23 pounds in a day.
Never.
Right? Just that. And then the next day you got to fight me.
No way. No. Yeah, I mean,
and I didn't do none of that shit.
I know you must. I'm telling you, that's got to be such an incredible advantage for you to be so good at your weight and be basically fighting at your walk around weight. That's just fucking incredible because
like all these 16 big guys, days out from the fight and here.
And you're having a banquet. That's what I'm talking
this is
about.
Part of the diet, but it works.
Work it in there.
Tempt me.
Andrew Toppin is in the comments, and he's asking us to get you to show the glorious mullet that you sport.
Man, I just got done teaching jiu-jitsu, and I had a hat on all day. But y'all hear the eagles flying? It's in the background. You probably can't hear it because of my mic. Whenever I do that, they go like out of the back, and they just come through. They'll make sure I'm breaking the windows around
here. A couple
of
bald eagles just made love.
Yeah, we'll keep it down.
A baby was just made.
Trying to wake up George Washington. Right.
Oh man! So the last time we talked to you, I think you were building a new gym, right? You were putting the gym together, right?
Yes. I think we were in the maybe we were in the office. I don't remember, but yeah, this is my gym. Last August, I had 2 locations, and pre-Corona, and then the Corona took a big old Stanley steamer on that idea, and so then we limped around, and I made it through, and then we found this other building it's much great deal. I've got a bigger place, so I was able to kind of put both of them together in one central location. So yeah, man, it's working out pretty good. Hopefully, after this fight, I can make it cooler. That's where like all my fight money goes is into my gym.
I mean, you gotta put money into it to make money for sure. And
exactly, right? Yeah.
I think you were you starting like a supplement line or a nutrition line as well last time?
I have a nutrition shop. It's a Herbalife that we sell teas and energy teas and meal replacement shakes. And then I've got my own line through the Herbalife products where you can go through and buy. It's all the stuff that I use. And, so that was just something I was into as far as being healthy, and all the stuff that we sell is third party tested. It's not anything that's going to make me flag on a test or do anything crazy or, make my hair fall out. So I actually use Herbalife shampoo for those that are wondering. Shampoo and conditioner. It's pretty good. But yeah, man. So beautiful. My life just revolves around nutrition and working out, and that's that was intentional. I did that on purpose. I was always geared towards that. It's always something that I loved. Me and my dad grew up working out together, and doing sports and doing jiu-jitsu, and that was the way for me to make it part of my life. So all the people that I talk to every day coming in there to get teas or coming in there to get shakes, they come in there and they don't just come buy a product for me. I get to sit there and I talk to them about what they do for exercise and ways that I could help them or ways to improve it. And I can kind of educate them on stuff. And I'm just kind of a nerd when it comes to stuff like that.
No,
so,
you're doing what you love, dude. You're doing what you love. Out. And it's not even right. What they say, it's not even work if you're just doing what you love, man. It doesn't even seem like you're working.
Like I met with my financial advisor, like, I don't know, it was a couple months ago. We were talking about, how much money we're going to put here versus there and this and that. And he was like, when do you want to retire? And I was like, man, I pretty much feel like I am already. Like I work a lot. I mean, I'm not saying like I just sit around and I don't do anything, but I don't feel like I'm working. And to me, the idea of retirement isn't not working. Because who wants to do that? Who wants to sit around and do nothing? Because right. At that point, your life really has no meaning. Granted, you can find the meaning in your kids and stuff like that, but at the same time, I got to have something going. I got to have. I'll never stop doing this. I'll never stop working out. I'll never stop teaching jiu-jitsu. I'll never stop teaching boxing. I'll never stop sharing what I know. And the reason is because it's part of my addiction. That's how I get better. I get better by sharing it with other people. And, that's just part of my life. And I'm fortunate enough now that, people are, like my gym, I really don't make money on. My gym just pays for itself. It's its own entity. It just, I hustle all my money on the side working. I almost feel like, when I spend money that the gym has for anything that's just for me, I feel like I'm, cheating on my students. You know what I mean? Like they're my kids. And, so, all the money I get in, I put back into the gym. And, in my mind, that's just going to make my students better. And then my students are going to make me better. And then I'm going to make more money as a result of that, just by being a better person and a better martial artist. So, it's a good time. I've set up a pretty good thing. I ain't exactly balling, but I'm having a good time with it. I got a sugar mama at home.
That's always important. A good thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Eric Williams down here. He says, I dropped 60 pounds in just a few months because of Q's guidance. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hard work paying off for both of you.
Man, and I do a lot. I do like what is it? I do corrective exercise with people, so like my personal training stuff that I work with a lot of my clients are people that have disabilities, as far as like, one lady I had was like 61 and she had like a double knee replacement, and like she was having reactions to the double knee replacement and all these issues, and she was on a walker, and she had spent like 2 years on a walker. And when she came to me, they had told her she'll never walk without a walker again. And, within a month, she was walking without the walker. Within 2 months, she threw it away. And then, we're looking back a year after that, she's lost almost 100 pounds. Wow. And she can put her shoes on and she can take a bath by herself, and stuff like that. So that's kind of like more where I go towards with my personal training and stuff. I don't really like to work with people that already know how to work out. I work more with people that just have no clue what they're doing, and kind of break them into it early, because to me, I couldn't imagine my life without doing this. And honestly, you shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to imagine your life without some type of physical activity, because that's just going to be your end. And, I might not be the wealthiest person, but if we were going to judge, what your net worth was based on how long you're going to live, I'm pretty sure I'm going to outlive a lot of them.
Yeah.
And, because I'm taking care of myself. So, you got people that put value in that, and then people that put value in money. And, I'm just trying to find somewhere in between.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Changing lives, helping people out. That's unbelievable. And that's really great for you. You're a much different interview than your opponent. I'll tell you that much. We talked to Sarro the other day, and he didn't stop moving the entire time we were talking. He was he was basically spinning in circles with his phone, hyper as fuck the entire time.
He was
excited, couldn't stop smiling and all this stuff. And like, you are even keeled, cool, sitting in your chair, changing lives, man. It's kind of funny,
bro. I'm just me. I got one gear, and
Yeah,
this is just who I am. I'm not good at being anybody else.
It's fantastic.
And
now
it just kind of works that way.
let me ask you about you and Chris. Are you guys cordial with each other? I know you guys were both GOAT Combat Agency at one point. I don't think either one of you are now anymore. Are you still friendly?
No, we're not.
Any animo? I mean, like, you friendly with each other? Cool.
Oh yeah, we're definitely. Last time I was with him, I was in Miami for the fights. Huge waste of my time, but I was there, and me and him spent about an hour lost in Miami, walking around trying to find beer. I was like, bro, like, there's got to be a store to get beer around here somewhere, because it was like $7 a pop downstairs. I'm like, nah. So, we're, walked around, and he's like, yeah, man, I know where I'm going. Exactly where we go. We got the store down the road. And, well, fucking hour later, we're lost as shit. And we finally get back, But man, a lot of the reason we got lost was because we were just sitting there talking to each other, not paying attention, So, I mean, I don't feel like I'm a hard guy to get along with for just about anybody. And but me and Chris have always been very cordial with each other. When I first met him, it was just random. I ended up on some podcast, and he was on there too. And he started talking about wanting to fight me, but he was doing it like in a respectful way. He was telling me like, I watched that fight with you and Bubba 100 times. Like, getting to fight you would be awesome. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, who's this Boyka looking son of a bitch over here? You know what I mean? I'm like, y'all know who Boyka is? Come on, man.
No.
Be a nerd. It's like a C-rated movie. It's like a B movie. It's like he's like a white Michael J. White. And
is there a guy is there somebody in it's a movie, right?
Yes, called Boyka.
God, the fighting movie?
Google it, pull up the picture. He looks like Chris Sarro.
A fighting movie?
I feel like somebody used to tell me that I looked like somebody from Boyka. I don't know if maybe it's just because I'm a shaved head white dude.
Boss Rutan is in it. You look like Boss Rutan to me. Sorry.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
I feel that. I get that Boss Rutan vibe right there. I mean, you might be offended. Boss Rutan is a very, muy guapo. Wasn't that his name? What was his name?
He's handsome. He's the best looking guy I've ever seen fight in a Speedo.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, Boyka. I know this. Yeah, Boyka. He does. Chris? Yes, he does look like Sarro. Oh shit!
I told y'all.
That's funny, man.
Chris is a little more, got a little thicker in the face, or whatever. But yeah, so I thought he was Boyka. I'm like, who's Boyka's little cousin over here trying to beat me up? And but we've been pretty cordial ever since. Like last time we were walking around, he was supposed to have a fight in Tampa. And, he was like, I was asking him, like, what weight are you fighting at? And he's like, 205, man. I'm still at 205. I'm like, all right. I was like, I was trying to give him some tips on weight cutting and trying to tell him some of the things that I do. And, I don't know if he listened or not. And he seemed like he kind of had a pretty good handle on it at his new place that he's at. He seems to be liking it down there. So, yeah, man, I mean, I'm looking forward to the fight. I'd rather not like the person I'm fighting usually, but, me and Chris, it's not one of those things where it's like me and him are going to not beat each other up, because of like, we both get because this was supposed to happen. We were eventually going to fight each other because he was a 205 and, then he ended up doing the heavyweight thing or whatever. So, we'll see. I like Chris. I think he's a dangerous fighter. He does have some power if you don't respect him. And, but at the end of the day, I think I'm the best bare knuckle fighter on the planet, and it's not going to be a good night for Chris Sarro. But I'm happy to give him a check.
Nice. Now, down there in the comments, Big Ben says, "Okay, hero, how do you see the fight going, and how do you win?"
Man, I like to take the fight into the second round. So, I feel like by the second round, I should have everything figured out, and we should get to finish by then. That seems to be the plan. You never know though. Chris is one of those guys that will just come at you, and it kind of depends on where we end up with that. I'm ready for anything. I'm that guy that goes in there. My coach told me, one of the best things I've ever heard before a fight. My coach had told me, he looked at me, he said, "Hey man, you don't have to know the answer. You're about to figure it out." And it was like, yeah, what am I worried about? Like, I'm gonna be able to figure it out in there, type of deal. So if he wants to bang and he wants to just come at me and go, I don't think that's a good idea, but I think that's probably his best chance. And I'm ready, man. I got my dancing shoes on. I'm ready to move. And that's one of the things is I just 100% believe that my footwork is able to get me out of anything. And my footwork and my head movement can keep me from getting hit. And if you can't hit me, you can't beat me. And it's only a matter of time before I catch you.
Now, if you remember the Kakar fight with him, he came out looking really good, and then he got clipped by Izatula and things changed. I'm thinking about the way you started that Jay Fish fight against the way he started that Izatula Kakar fight, and that first round could be very, very exciting. Very exciting.
Oh, no doubt, because at the same time, I'm not scared to throw them hands. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if we end up in the pocket and we start throwing down, it could definitely be very exciting, but I promise you it's not going to last very long.
Well, Mama Henry thinks you finish it in the first.
Yeah, she prefers that. There's less anxiety,
Yeah, it ends.
But it's hard to say you're going to go out there and just whoop somebody in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, I think with Fish, I had the opportunity to finish him, and I backed off. Y'all got to see that. And that was not necessarily like, anything in particular. It was just like, there's no reason to rush this.
She's looking for that Yuli Diaz every time.
Yeah. Well, my guy's not just going to stand there. I promise you. He's going to move when the guy says go. So I'm probably not going to get that lucky. They like trying to get me beat up. They want me to get beat up. They're like, damn, let's see if we can get Quentin beat up. It'll make a good fight. You know what I'm saying? But little do they know it ain't happening. No,
they definitely feed you killers for sure. And there hasn't been
a slouch that's yet. Who I asked for, man.
Right.
We talked about who I was going to fight. They were asking, and I was looking, and I was asking, and I don't want to fight bums. I don't want to fight guys that are supposed to beat me. I mean, that I'm supposed to beat. I want y'all to think that they got a chance. I know they don't, but I want y'all to think that, because it makes it look even better once they don't. Once we get done and they go, damn, that guy shouldn't even been in the ring with Quentin. That's what I want people to say. And that's my goal every time I fight. It's not necessarily I'm going to go out there and I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to go out there and I want them to say it didn't matter what happened. They weren't fucking winning that fight with what they brought to the table. And that's the way I train. And that's the way I work in here. I spar. I spar 20 rounds every weekend. Every Sunday I get 20 rounds in, and I'll get another 10 to 15 during the week. And I'm just constantly working, and I'm working towards perfection. I'll never reach it, but I'm getting better. I promise you, I'm getting better every day.
Always got to keep improving, man. You never good enough. That's a fucking great attitude to have for sure.
Always the student. As soon as you think you know everything, that's when you're screwed, especially in martial art. You're always the student. I see a lot of people, that's how I judge other gyms. Like if you go in there and you go ask that coach something and they just think they know the answer to everything. They're always that, that. I have my guys ask me, I'm like, well, look, bro, this is what I do. I'm like, but let's figure it out, and we'll work through it, that type of deal. Because that's what this is about. It's not about, one of the hardest things about being a coach, a good coach, and this is what makes a good coach for those people that are listening, is to be a good coach. I'm not teaching you a curriculum that I pulled out of a book. I'm not copycatting something. I'm teaching you how to beat me. I'm showing you absolutely everything that I've put my life and my work into, and I'm trying to give it to you. in a package, and it's not something that was just handed to me. It's things that your coach or whoever has gone through and put together. And when somebody appreciates that, it makes you feel like I didn't waste all that time. When you show them those new moves and you work for them, so that's where I'm at with the coaching and working through fighting. It's just when I get done doing bare knuckle, I'm gonna do some jiu-jitsu stuff, but I'm always gonna be sharing my craft, and I'm always gonna be working with people.
You're a warrior, man, for sure. People love you. They love your confidence. They love your whole style, everything about you. We're going to drop your sponsors at the bottom here and do a quick speed round with you, and then let you get back to doing whatever it is you have next on the docket for the evening. All right, here we go. Speed round with Quentin Hero Henry. Number 1, ketchup on eggs, yes or no?
Nope. Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Louisiana.
Hot sauce and cheddar cheese, man. I put salsa. You like salsa on your eggs? I do.
I could do salsa. Yeah, my mom's into the salsa. I like salsa on my omelet.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 2. What decade produced the best music?
The 90s.
easy answer. God damn.
It's good all the way around.
What you got? What I
All the
mean,
way
even
around.
if you go through rock, you got Metallica, Pantera. You had, and then even
Then you
you
got
go
the
through
grunge rock
Nirvana,
era. Yeah.
Pearl Jam. That's usually what I'm
Soundgarden.
rocking. Is a lot of that.
The
Man,
rap.
Come on, the '90s. Oh man,
Rap music in the
Tupac,
90s.
Biggie,
Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang, DMX,
R&B.
just everywhere.
R&B, Boys to Men. Come on, I mean everything was
90s.
good back
everything
then.
about the 90s was
That's right.
good.
Everything.
Fantastic
Yeah,
answer. Number 3,
exactly.
this is an important one for everybody. What Ninja Turtle had the best weapon?
I was always Donatello. I was the one with the bow staff, the purple one. Yeah, that was me.
It's the most
That's
practical.
it. All 3 of us
Yep.
picked that because we do these questions when
That
we're
was
writing
me.
them. We talk to each other about what we think
Right.
you're going to say and what we're going to say,
Yeah.
and a bow staff. 3 for 3.
Right.
I said,
Bow staff.
everybody, I said, I feel like most people would say the sword, but the most practical, the best weapon out there is the bow staff for sure.
Yeah. Even Napoleon
Yeah.
Dynamite used a bow staff.
Like, hey, I'm pretty good with nunchucks too, but I was always the bow staff guy. That was me.
That's fucking awesome. Number 4, Mike.
What is the best Christmas gift you received during the holidays?
This year.
This past holidays?
Yeah, what'd you get?
Oh man. I got these awesome seat covers for my car. I know that doesn't sound much, but they look like they're part of the car. They're like, I don't know.
They're just
Yeah, I got
beautiful
some good
and you love
candy.
them.
Yeah, like I had to take the whole back seat out of the car to put these on. Like when you look at my car, it looks like I got leather seats. So that's
Oh,
cool.
nice.
And I mean, I have a dog. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I got my dog Jenny. She's actually like right over here taking a nap while I do my interview, but she literally goes everywhere I go. So she loves the seat covers too. That was kind of a big gift, so that protects my car.
Nice.
Outstanding. Last question. Favorite fan story so far in your career?
Fan story,
You got
as in
something-
like
like a fan do something crazy for you, or you have
You did something for them, just something that
hey,
you like.
how about
Man, this is great.
how about brawling in the middle of fans during Birmingham?
man, that wasn't cool.
No, I'm just
That
joking.
guy, man. I wish I had more fan interactions, to be honest with you. I had a guy the other day. This was like one of the weirdest things, and it's kind of, I guess it's probably going to happen more because I guess now I'm kind of trending on YouTube or whatever, and it's becoming more frequent that like random people that I have no idea, like I've never met, they'll be like, "Hey, I see you on YouTube last night," like. And I'm like, maybe, like, I watched you fight. I'm like, really? You did? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well. So, like, my goats got out of my yard the other day. I got goats. And they were in my neighbor's yard. And some guy was over there doing some job for him, and he was like, hey, man. And I was walking by, grabbing my goats. He's like, I watched you fight last night. I'm like, oh, yeah? I was like, did I win?
Surreal, man. Did I
I was
win?
like, did I win? And he was like, yeah, it was with the ball guy. I was like, oh, yeah, I beat his ass. I'm like, yeah, good. You liked it? He was like, yeah, man. He's like, I just saw you on YouTube last night. He's like, what are the odds? It's like, you're right here. Well, I'm like, pretty damn good. You're at my house. Like, this is where I live. Like, you know what I mean? If we're gonna throw a dart at the statistics on that one. Man, I mean, I've had some super strange DMs come through. Probably not appropriate to talk about out loud. I've had you know, a lot of things like that. My favorite thing though is, you know, when I get to meet the kids or I get to meet the fans that are like super excited. And that kind of is one of my favorite things, especially when I go around to like little boxing events. And I've been doing a lot more of that here lately, being involved with the local community as far as, you know, going over to Shreveport with my coach Jake. He puts on a lot of fights and stuff. And when I get to go over there and like the younger kids kind of get to look at me like I used to look at those pro fighters, you know, and then they get to come take pictures with me and stuff. And I try and help them out and give them tips. And, you know, that's what I like. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole deal, because I feel like that makes the biggest impact. You know, like those kids are going to remember that more than anything.
Well, you know, when you are whipping ass like you are, you're rocking a mullet like you do, you come out dressed in the Apollo Creed red, white, and blue outfit to I Am a Real American type shit. What's not to like about that, man? If
you shake your hair and eagles fly.
Yeah, man, I'm just a product of my childhood. You know, I grew up being proud of my country and being proud of being, you know, American and
damn fucking right.
And where I'm from. And, you know, that was always instilled into me my whole life. And, you know, so in my opinion, I live in the greatest country ever, and there's nothing that we couldn't handle. And, you know, that's the attitude I take in there with me to fight, you know, so, there's plenty of people that go out there and do real fights, you know, like go fight in war, you know, and what I'm doing is just playing, you know. So if they can go out there and do that, then I shouldn't have a problem going out there and fighting and putting on a show, and maybe a lot of them get to watch it, you know, because I know I got a lot of fans, a lot of military guys that like to watch some bare knuckles. So, you know, I get to do my part to kind of help them out.
It's outstanding, man. Yep, you are loved by many. Quentin, we got your sponsors at the bottom there. Why don't you take a minute, shout some people out, say whatever you got to say, and then we'll let you go.
Brad Bell Insurance Group, the Fighter's Friend, y'all familiar with them. Armed Forces Roof and Construction, Traxford Chiropractic, P&H Farms, and then the Fuel Factory. A huge shout out to all those guys. I'll be back on, bro, after the fight. We're going to get back on. We got to do the deal. You know, I'm part of this new crypto thing that's going down. Should be the spokesperson for this new private equity fund that's going down. So, you know, got some big things coming up. You know, hopefully we'll make everybody a part of them.
Awesome,
man. Well, thank you very much for coming on. We cannot wait to see this fight January 29th in Jackson, Mississippi. Everybody tune in, get the app if you haven't already. Quentin, you got a referral code on your IG?
Probably, right? What do you mean? Like, oh yeah, on my IG download the app. Yeah, the BKTV app. Yeah, it's in my bio.
Yeah.
You go click
if you don't have the app yet, people go to his IG, click on the link, and get the app.
We would put it right here if we had the ability. That's where it would be.
Yeah, we would, but we'll put that in later.
I can get it so fast, and I can get to bring it up.
No, we'll just put it in later. Just hold your finger up there for a second. Boom, that's good enough. Done. Consider it done, man. Thank you very much for coming on. You're always a good time, and we'll see you soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
See ya. That is Hero Quentin Henry, man. That dude's fucking awesome. Everything about him's cool. I don't. You know, how do you not be a fan of Quentin Henry? For Christ's sakes, the dude puts on a show every time he comes out.
Idea. You're definitely not American. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Joe Ivy.
Yeah. You know what? Susan Walker, I have been in the same boat as you, especially being home, like quarantined for the last 2 weeks. Last night we had a show, but there was an Invicta event, and I ended up watching the event, and it was a breath of fresh air to see some goddamn combat sports on the fucking TV. Finally. It all turns around this weekend. We got UFC Fight Night this weekend, followed by Cage Wars MMA next week, followed by BKFC the week after, as well as UFC 270? Is it 270? 272? What the fuck? What number are we on?
289.
It's the Ngannou. It's the Ngannou Cyril Gunn. Yeah, Ngannou's fighting this month. So, you know, combat sports are back. 2022 is finally kicking off, and I am excited. Yeah, BKFC 270. Thank you, Big Ben. Shout out to Quentin Henry for, you know, being the guy that he is, man. He really cares, and he takes care of a lot of people. Yes, obviously, his gym doesn't sound like a business. It sounds like basically a clubhouse where people go to hang out and get better at what they love. So, you know what I mean? Good for him. Good on him helping that lady out, dropping 100 pounds and getting her walking again. It's like stuff like that is just really awesome. Really great to hear.
Good stuff. I love it so much. These are the best things, though. We've gotten to meet all these awesome people. They're fighters. Some of them become friends, but like you get to learn about their lives and all the people that they help, and you don't know what you're going to get. You could talk to somebody and then you get a story. You're like, holy shit, I never knew that. And I think I actually saw Eric William in the comment section. He's like, oh shit, I never knew that. So I don't know if it was Quentin told us something that he didn't know. So like, this is the guy he's with every day and he still learns something, you know? So I think it's awesome.
Yep. He really good dude. I mean, a lot. And you know what? His opponent, Chris, we get along really well with Chris. Chris is a New England guy. We've never had a bad interaction with Chris, but
no,
Chris drums up hate.
He was our second interview ever.
Right. He
live interview.
Chris drums up some hate from some people. I don't know what he's done to rub some people the wrong way. He does have a chip on his shoulder. It might just be the New England kid in him or something like that. But maybe we're all a bunch of assholes up here in the Northeast. But we get along with him. They seem to get along with each other. So it should be a cool fight between a couple of friendly guys that are for sure going to try to beat the shit out of each other. So that's a great time. Mike, if you have contact with Alan, if he's going to be a few minutes, is he going to be a few minutes?
Well, he said he was just finished training, and that was a little bit ago. So I think he's going to be popping on in just a few minutes.
I was going to say, you want to do everybody's favorite everybody's favorite segment, Stoonot of the Week. Hey,
son,
dude,
look
we
at
have
these people.
4 fantastic nominees tonight. First off, we have. I'll just give you a
go
quick
through it, Kyle, because you put this together today. I was in work. Kyle has been out of work because he got the COVID.
Yeah. So
I do know the stories, but I don't know the names.
So the lady all the way to the left there, the nice smiling brown-haired brunette with the black shirt and the green and black blouse. She is a school teacher who was arrested and charged with reckless endangerment to a child when she put her fucking kid in the trunk of her car because the kid tested positive for COVID, and she got pulled over with her child in the trunk of her fucking car. This is an educator of the youth of America right here, people. That lady, that smiling, her name is Sarah Beam from Houston, Texas. Let's make her famous. Stoonod. Number 2, we'll go over to the judge over there to the right. That is a judge who resides in Michigan, right? I forget what her name is. I'm going to come up with her name here in a second. Croat. I don't know, but she's a Stoonod, because you know what this lady did?
What'd she do, Kyle?
Yeah, she shamed a 72-year-old man who's dying from cancer. She charged him $100 fine and said if it was up to her, she would throw his ass in jail because he should be ashamed of how long his grass is in his front yard. No neighbors should ever have to look at grass like that, ever. And she don't give 2 fucks about his fucking stage 4 cancer. Fuck him. She would throw him in jail if she could. Wow. Stoonod of the week.
What a Stoonod.
Yep. Number 3, everybody's favorite wide receiver, Antonio Brown. You know, he threw his temper tantrum. He ripped his shirt off. He ran off the field in the middle of a game last week against the New York Jets. But that's not all, folks. He goes on to trash everybody who's given him a helping hand along the way. His boy Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, got him a job in New England when nobody wanted his fucking wild ass. Got him a job in New England, let him stay at his house up there. He only played a week. It only lasted 2 weeks on the team. Why? Because Belichick don't put up with that shit. Cut him. You know, 2 seasons later, Brady's in Tampa. This guy still don't have a job. You know what happens? Brady talks Bruce Arians into bringing him in on a minimum contract. This guy's making $960,000 a year to play football for the defending Super Bowl champions with incentives to make $2-3 million if he just plays. No. He's been a fuck up all year long. He ends up storming off the field like a kid who got his toy taken away in a temper tantrum. And then he goes on to shit on everybody and burn every bridge that he had along the way. He's a fucking Stu-Nod candidate if I've ever seen one. And the last but not least, that Tabasco sauce hiding model there. This is my favorite. She is a model.
This is so ridiculous.
This is an unknown model. The name has not been.
That's not actually her in the picture.
That is not her. I just grabbed an Instagram model because I thought that was nice to look at. So that is the Instagram. That is a Instagram model who shall remain nameless. She had sexual relations with one Drake. You know,
one
certified lover boy, Drake himself. So Drake has sex with this woman. He goes in the bathroom. He has a routine that he does where he takes off the contraceptive and he pours hot sauce into it, ties it up, throws it in the garbage to stop anybody
don't want anybody getting that money maker, little money maker.
This chick goes into the bathroom, opens up the contraceptive, pours it into herself, and fucks herself up with hot sauce in her vagina. Now she is suing Drake for putting hot sauce in the condom that she was trying to steal and forcefully impregnate herself with the certified lover boys.
Ridiculous.
What a fucking Stu-Nod. I gotta tell you, this has to be the cake taker. Mike, is it the school teacher Sarah Beam? Is it Sarah Beam out of Houston, Texas, who is an educator of the youth who threw her kid in the trunk of the car and got a reckless endangerment to children for fucking having her COVID positive kid in the trunk? Is it Antonio Brown for being an absolute fucking Stu-Nod and burning every bridge possible? Is it the judge that said, fuck you and your fucking stage 4 cancer, old man, cut your goddamn grass or go to jail? Or is it fucking Tabasco puss herself? Who do we got? Who's the winner?
All right. So here we go. Number one, Antonio Brown is still rich and he'll continue to make money if he wants to. So he's still not, he can do whatever the hell he wants. He's an asshole, but he's not the Stu-Nod, right? Number two, hot sauce lady. I mean, here's the thing. She's trying to get rich and she's doing whatever she needs to do to become rich. That was the one time she goes, Drake's stuff is over here. I'm going to take that and I could have his kid and get, $100,000 a month in friggin' child support payments from
with their Tabasco baby.
Yeah, from the idiot judge who likes to charge fucking old men and wants to put them in jail for not mowing their lawn. But you know what? There's plenty of asshole judges out there. She still has her job and she's still going to be an asshole. She's a friggin' moron. She should be fired, but she isn't. But I think that if you have a teacher who we trust to watch our children, to teach our youth, and this moron puts her kid in the friggin' car while she's driving. So she's endangering this child. She's got this kid who has COVID, who's probably already somewhat frightened. We don't know because I'm sure that this idiot teacher is one of those COVID frantic morons that run around and they're like, oh, right? She got to put her kid in the damn trunk. It's your goddamn kid, you idiot. So she puts a kid in danger, right? She's obviously probably putting other people's kids in danger every day. She goes to this place to go get tested. And then she also loses her job. I mean, she's on administrative leave, but listen, she should be fired. She's probably going to be fired. So now she's ruined her life. And she might even, who knows what's going to happen with her kid. I mean, what a damn moron. What a fucking Stu-Nod. You know what?
She is.
I want to give her one of these, huh? Get over here. Give one of these. Right in the kisser. Give one of these.
Give her one of these. Bang! She is a fucking Stu-Nod. Sarah Beam of Houston, Texas. You are the Stu-Nod of the week. How dare you? What a fucking loser.
How dare
Mike,
you?
Mike, I don't know if you saw this in Cobra Kai season 4, but I noticed it. Amy noticed it. Amy actually sent me a screenshot video of it.
I know who it is.
Yeah.
I know.
Did y'all hear someone get called a Stu-Nod on season 4 of Cobra Kai?
Yes, I did.
I'm telling you.
Does she say the Marissa Tomei lookalike?
Yeah, the Marissa Tomei lookalike. She called Louis a Stu-Nod, right? The cousin Louis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How do you guys like that segment right there? Did we pick the right one? I think we did. I mean, who hasn't been thrown in the trunk once or
you
twice,
put the kid in danger. You're supposed to be protecting these kids. You're supposed to be teaching kids. You're an idiot. I mean, come on. What the you live with this kid too. Like, what are you doing? You put this kid in the closet while you're at home? I'm not understanding. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that shit fucking. I mean that.
There's
What's
the
up,
animal.
Travis Thompson, the animal himself? Her child was 13. I didn't see that part. Her child was 13. She
Unreal.
had a 13
13-year-old in the damn trunk.
This 13-year-old should have been
That's not as bad, I guess, at this
But
point.
I mean, but
I'll
that
put a
13-year-old,
13-year-old
that 13-year-old's a fucking stew-nod too for letting her mom put her in the trunk or him in the trunk, man.
Listen, you're a product of your environment. This kid is probably all fucked up.
Yeah, this kid's already fucked. Oh my god. I mean, oh god.
He is a stew nod.
She looks like what? She looks like a nice lady.
She does look well, whatever. I mean,
you ever hear anything?
Can't judge a book by its cover, right?
I understand that she is the stew nod of the stew nods of the week, of course. But that lady with the hot sauce is one ballsy fucking. What?
That's a fucking She's definitely a stew nod. I mean, they're all stew nods.
Did you see what Kodak Black did?
No,
he's not so much a stew. Kodak Black went to a professional hockey game last night or the night before. Had what do you call them? A thought? He had a thought with him.
A thought? That hoe over there?
He had a thought with him, right? So he's watching the hockey game live on TV. He can be seen with this chick bent over the fucking seat in the skybox booth, just railing away on a nationally televised hockey game.
What
yeah.
What is going on? This world is becoming a friggin' madhouse.
Oh god! You ever ride in the trunk, Mike?
Have I rode in the trunk? No, I never have actually. I was never the guy that said yes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, Big Ben says at 13 I wouldn't fit in the trunk. Big Ben.
I don't think you would ever fit.
I would say third grade was the cutoff for Big Ben getting in the trunk for sure.
Big Ben had a sidecar. His mom had a sidecar to help when she was pregnant.
Yeah, man. Good thing. Big Ben. Good thing COVID wasn't around when you were a child, huh? Your mom would have had to have a trailer off the back. Strap you to that shit. Oh, dude. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. I rode in a trunk a few times, though, only to get into the Mansfield Drive-In back in the day. We used to go up there. We'd stop about a couple hundred feet down the street from the entry to the drive-in movie theater. The two people in the front of the car would pay for the two of them to get into the drive-through, and we drive in, open up the little flap in the seat that goes down, whoop, and then crawl back through. You got to do what you got to do.
I wouldn't be doing that. I ain't into that shit.
You wouldn't be doing that, huh?
No, I'm all set. I never did it, but hey, you crazy, man. I remember we used to try to fit as many people into a fucking car as possible. We would have we'd have 2 people in the front seat, 4 people in the back, maybe a person in the trunk. If we got to get somewhere, we got to get somewhere. We don't feel like walking.
My nephew's saying
the problem with having 16
that I shut him and my other nephew in the trunk all the time. I don't remember doing that. I don't know.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Hey, let's get Mende in here, and then we'll circle back to Alan Belcher in a little bit. If you want to shoot Alan a message real quick to let him know that we're going to bring on our third guest, and
we'll do. Now.
He can let us know when he's done training, and we'll bring him in. All right. With that said, we have our second guest of the evening. He is a 170-pound powerhouse out of Cage Wars, making his second trip to the cage on January 21st. I can't remember who he's fighting. Mike, who's he fighting? Who's his opponent? Come on, here we go. Bam, it's right here. We got Northern McCullough. Northern McCullough.
Sorry, Kyle, you sent me to do a job, and I was doing it.
Well, do your fucking job.
Damn you.
All right.
Northern McCullough, you are correct.
Well, his name is Mende Cukalevski, and he's making his second trip to the cage January 21st. Here he is, folks. What's happening, sir?
How's it going?
What's going on, man?
Good.
Mish. That's Mike. This is the Mike and Mish show. Mission accomplished.
Nice.
Good to have you on.
Good to be here. You said my last name correctly, so that's a plus.
Is your name not Mende? Mende?
The last name, Cukalevski. Most people say it, but you got it.
All right. Cool. When you told me that I said your last name right, I thought that insinuated that I said your first name wrong.
No, you said that. That one's usually easy.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, me and Mike are going to be up there on the 20th and 21st covering the weigh-ins and the event. We're really looking forward to this, looking forward to meeting all you guys and seeing one of the Cage Wars events live. We went back and I watched your debut fight against Luis Melendez.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, dude, when they were introducing the two fighters coming out, right? I'm going to pick on Ben Field for a second here. Those guys were sweating your opponent's nuts like bad, right? They're like, he wakes up in the morning and has abs. And he's like, I wish I could.
He was almost on a Wheaties box, I think they said.
Yeah, I wish I could be in the shape that this kid's in. Bro, you were a professional bodybuilder, right? Like you looked like you could run through a fucking stone wall, and they're talking about your opponent. And then the fight happens and you just like powerhouse wrestled the shit out of him the entire fight, ground and pounding him in his ribs the entire time. It would have been nice if you could have done some real ground and pound, but you guys were doing the novice amateur rules. So 1 or 2 more fights, and I think you could start pounding people's faces, right? Am I wrong about this? Were they sweating your opponent? Were they downplaying you in that debut, Ben Field? Were you?
It was because he already had one fight, so they knew, he had a lot of hype coming into it, and they didn't know anything about me. So I'm kind of in the same situation now going into this fight. I don't really know much about my opponent besides that he's a wrestler, I guess, and he's a jiu-jitsu blue belt. So I'm sure they're going to be talking me now, and I'm talking my opponent. So, but I didn't mind it. No, it's just I knew what I was in there to do, and I believe wrestling wins over anything out there, I guess, because at the end of the day, the fight's going to end up on the ground, and the better wrestler controls this. So,
now you've been a wrestler your whole life?
I wrestled, throughout high school. I moved to the United States in 2006 from Europe. I was 12. So then I started, getting into sports. I played soccer a little bit. Then I started wrestling. And yeah, I did bodybuilding when I was 19 for 5 years or so till 25, 26. And then I went back to basically jiu-jitsu and wrestling and striking. I've been striking for a couple of years now. So that's where I'm new at. I've never striked before. I'm getting better at it every day. But my wrestling's basically where it's at, man.
I want to take it back just a little bit because Kyle's talking about, that fight and them talking up your opponent. And they weren't the only people talking up your opponent. Because if you go over to Tapology, right, and I just took a screenshot real quick while he was talking about this, and we had talked about it earlier. Look at this.
I remember that, yeah.
13%. Now, that's 24 people. It's not like thousands of people here. But first of all, add that together. That's 101%. Doesn't make sense. So I don't get that at all. But what I do get is that 13% of those 24 people thought that you were going to win, and nobody fucking knew how. If you could really, look at that. Nobody fucking knew. They're like, I don't know. I'll just fucking flip a 3-sided coin. I don't know. And look at that, 88%. So huge upset. How does it feel to fucking everyone is like, I don't think this guy's gonna win, and then you take it? That must feel good, no?
Yeah, honestly, I had no idea any of this. I guess Louis went to Tiger Muay Thai like in Thailand to train for this fight. I didn't know. I didn't even watch his first fight, to be honest with you, until like the last week. My girl was like, you might want to see his fight. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go in there and do my thing.
Yeah.
She kind of convinced me to watch it. So I watched it. And then, I didn't knew, when I went in there and take him down. And that was it, basically. Especially my first one, get my feet wet a little bit, see how it is. And this one's going to be a little different. So we'll see, I guess.
We have a boxing coach in the comments that says, but did you get shot? Have you ever been shot before?
No.
No, okay. All right. No. Our guest last evening told us a story about getting shot by his baby mama's baby mama's brother. It was a wild, crazy story. If you want, go back and watch it. It was fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. And Ben Field says you're a bear wrestling motherfucker. So you don't know much about Northern other than he has a name like Northern, which is interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
He's a young guy. I know that. Like 22, I think, maybe. I think he's a blue belt. That's what I've heard. He's a blue belt, one stripe in jiu-jitsu, and he likes to wrestle, but I don't think he's wrestled in high school. So I don't know what that means. That's just what I've heard. But it doesn't matter, honestly. And whoever it is, I'm just gonna go in there and do whatever I do. And
yeah, I'm looking forward. So are you looking to try out some of the new striking that you've been working on, or if you know this kid's a wrestler, he wants to try some wrestling with you, I wouldn't suggest it. After watching the first one, I was only a high school wrestler 22 years ago, so but I wouldn't suggest wrestling you.
You were good,
after
though, Kyle. You were good.
Yeah. What good enough to join the army. I got one of them army scholarships where I had to go sign up for a sign-up bonus and then serve the country instead of getting free college.
yeah, oh man,
yeah, I was all right. But nah, man, I was watching it and I would say like transition. He kept in your first fight, Melendez kept trying to transition and like shrimp out, and like, dude, he couldn't get out of your grasp the whole fight. So you definitely showed power. You worked his ribs. There was not a lot of stand up in that first fight. That's why I was wondering if you were going to try to implement some of your new tactics or just do what you know works.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stand more with him this time, just because I want to test out my stand up. Last one, I don't even. I think I threw like one strike. If you watch the fight, there's like one or two strikes. So, and it was literally all wrestling. Took him down, and I couldn't strike to the head. So, this is my other fight. So after this one, I think I can strike to the head on the ground and no shin guards. So that's gonna change the game a lot, I think.
Mende, how old are you?
Me, 27.
You're 27. How long you said you've been doing martial arts since you were 12? How long?
So I've been training. I've been an athlete my whole life. Martial arts. I wrestled all throughout high school. So 4 years after that, total of 6 years, I would say I've done martial arts overall. But I've been training, working out, lifting. I've been an athlete my whole life. So I'm involved in any aspect, honestly.
You moved to the U.S. in 2006?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And it took you, I feel like, so I listened to your interview on Cage Wars, and you said it took you about 6 months to learn English. Do you understand? Like, I've been trying to learn Spanish for like 20 years.
But you don't live there. That's the thing. If you
and I'm horrible.
Yeah.
How the hell you do that?
When you're in the environment and people are speaking it around you, you pick it up faster. So you basically don't have a choice. So like if you were somewhere where they only spoke Spanish and you had no choice, you would have to pick it up. So first it starts with, I would understand what they were saying, but I couldn't say it back to them. So like I would get it, like I would get what they're saying, and I would look at them like crazy. Like I know what you're saying, but I don't know how to put the words to say it back. And then you learn it after a while. I don't know. Pick it up, I guess.
You know what, Mike?
Yeah.
We have a couple Polish soldiers that were in our unit. One of them has retired. The other one just got promoted. But Mario Zalewski, Mike, he didn't come to America until he was 19 years old. Never spoke a word of English before he came to America. We served with him for a long time. You would never know. He spoke like fluent, like he had a little accent, kind of like you do. But
right,
I'm like, man, how long have you? Like, when did you move here? I thought he was gonna say like, oh, when I was like 5. No, he was like, oh, I moved when I was 19 years old. I came over here, and I've been here ever since. I'm like, Jesus, dude,
is that scary? Like, is it kind of scary if you go somewhere and you don't know what anybody's saying? Everywhere you go, you just kind of feel like you're like, damn, man, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Nobody can understand me, and I don't understand anybody else. Like, how weird is that?
Yeah, it's weird, man. Shit.
Jeez. And Americans are assholes too. I feel like they're impatient all the time and stuff. Like, sometimes I get so aggravated living up here in Rhode Island. They're so mean.
Yeah.
What's Ben asking about? What's this fat cigar? What's that?
I don't know. Smoking. He's always smoking.
What do you do? Hey, what are you doing Do you have a full-time job when you're not training? What do you do for a living?
Yeah, I do construction. I'm a
Okay.
welder. So by trade, I weld.
Nice.
But I'm also a plumber. So like the company I work for is a heating, cooling company. And when they need welders, basically on a job, they send me and I go weld. And right now we're doing plumbing. So I'm literally new construction plumbing right now.
Nice. So you're doing ACs and stuff like that? You weld in the lines for the AC?
Just the pipes. We weld just
Yeah.
like water pipes or like the gas pipes, things like that.
Nice.
I'll tell you right now, welding. I told my nephew this. I said, man, go get a trade, become a welder, because there are few and far in between nowadays doing that trade. And like my buddy said, he's got one on call. Like if this guy gets called to a job, it doesn't matter if it takes him 45 minutes or it takes him 5 hours. And if it's off time, if it's off hours and he gets paid for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
He gets like $1,200 to show up and do a 45-minute job because you called him when he's off hours. I'm like, that sounds like
crazy. Yeah.
The craziest shit I've ever seen.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, right here. I think Joel's actually the guy that was telling me gas pipe welding, big smoke portal. Yeah.
They just had this big job now that opened up in Canada. I think it is. I just saw it. It's like a 3-month job. I think it's like 90 grand or some shit like that. It's like on a pipeline. I think it's just straight welding on a pipeline. But I think it's like you literally work in like 12 hours a day or 15 hours, some crazy shit.
Well, it's like, and isn't it like underwater welding, like a huge money? I don't know. Like I heard that's rare.
Yeah. That's more on the coastlines, like down by like Florida or like Virginia where they have the ships and shit. But yeah, I haven't looked into that yet. Maybe down the road. I don't know. But that's a different beast. Because you gotta go through the whole diving program and all that and get certified on top of your welding certs, you know.
Yeah, and you can't drown, which is a big. That's important. That's very important.
So Benfield just said, ask him about the picture I just sent you, and this is the picture that he is speaking of. Tell us about the picture.
That's my training partner, actually. Right now, this was 2009, maybe.
The one flying.
The one flying is my training partner. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's what, like 215 now, maybe? Yeah, I'm 190. So, yeah, man, that was great. That was an off-season tournament. He was waving at his mom.
Hi, Mom.
Right before you dump him on his head.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's freaking great, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to this event. What was your first Cage Wars experience like? You made your debut a few months back. You're about to make. Was there a certain level of nerves that you had going into that one that you feel like you have shaken them off going into the second one?
So, how it was, man. So it was literally nothing, and then I get thrown into the UFC basically. That's how it felt for me, you know, because you get all the interviews, they were taking pictures, and it was like a UFC style weigh-in, and it was all like crazy, like when I see it, you know, on the TV, and it was literally right in front of me. So going into this time, I know what to expect at least now, so I can, you know, mentally prepare myself better. As far as the fight, you know, that's just I grind, I train every day, you know, so that's not a problem. I go in there and do my thing and get it done, you know.
But that's got to say, that's got to say something about the organization that you're fighting in. There's a lot of amateur organizations out there, but one that runs it in a professional style like that really prepares you for your future. When you do make that step to a bigger professional organization, you're not blinded by the fucking bright lights and the big crowds and the scary, the scary nerves of the big televised weigh-ins and all that shit. That's a huge shout out to Cage Wars on that one for prepping you guys right.
Absolutely. When I first started training and I asked who I should fight for, you know, and all my training partners, they all said, you know, Cage Wars was one of the best ones around. So that's literally who I went with first time, and looking to stick with them, you know, for a while and see where we go.
You could see the development of their organization too. If you go back in their earlier events to now, they're on their 50th event, and like you said, it looks very professional. The cage looks great. The commentary's locked down now. They just the whole presentation is pretty fantastic. That's why me and Mike are very excited that we got invited to go up there and
super excited.
Do what we get
next week, baby.
Hell yeah,
man. They're great, man. What they do with the videos and the pay-per-views. I have a lot of people that can't make it, so they get it and watch it. I have family overseas that they watch it too. So it's great that they can stream it, so people that can't make it can actually see me perform out there,
Yeah, and even like the camera work, like the quality, the camera work is very professional compared to some of the other televised amateur events that you can watch, where like the
I
camera.
Don't know if there are any. Are there any televised?
They're live streamed. Like if you can like live stream them on YouTube or live stream them on Facebook or wherever, Twitch or wherever these organizations are streaming their events. A lot more, way more times than you actually. The camera gets blocked by someone, or it's behind a fucking beam, or like you miss on. It's just like Cage Wars does it right, man. And if you go on YouTube and rewatch their fights, you'll see what I'm talking about. For those who are in the chat.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure.
Yeah, man.
So, man, I'm glad I'm going to be a part of this 50th, and I get to keep my gloves too. They just said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Giving out.
Is there going to be like a commemorative like 50 on there or something?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything else.
Do they normally take the gloves back? Is that something that happens? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was like a rule, or like I just figured you're using the gloves, you're sweating all over them and shit. They're getting used, so they're not new anymore. You know what I mean? It's like giving someone your underwear. Like, yeah, can I have that back after you use that?
Oh man, I shouldn't have said anything. Yeah.
That's good.
You could sell them on the internet like OnlyFans girls sell their farts and shit. You could sell these gloves and
yeah, these gloves. I ate a hot dog, I punched someone in the face, and then I whacked off with these. Now you can have them.
Yo, that lady with the kid in the trunk, man. What is going on? Oh my God.
I don't know what somebody needs to go and fucking put her in a trunk and roll it down a fucking mountain.
Oh man, I couldn't.
Is that too far?
Yeah, man. I hope you enjoyed that segment. That's a segment that we.
No, that's funny.
we introduced Student Out of the Week a few months back, and it's been a hit. You know what I mean? I love scouring the internet for the 4 biggest fucking morons in the past week, and then exposing them for how dumb they are on the internet. You know?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, so Mende, why don't we do a speed round with you? It's going to be 5 questions off topic. Maybe some of them are fight topic, but it's to let the audience get to know your personality a little more so they can become a bigger fan of yours. And I am assuming that your goal is to go pro at some point. Maybe Tuesday Night Contender Series or something like that is in your future, because we've only seen one of your fights, but you got skill, you got the body for it. You're a gigantic 170 guy who I heard can go down to 155, which if you can go to 155 with the build that you have right now, you are fucking going to be a Terminator at 155. I would imagine pro is the goal.
Yeah, that's the plan at 155.
All right, well, let's do this speed round with you, and let's get a little bit of your personality here. Number 1. And I wrote this one because of your background. What is the most important supplement that someone needs to have in their diet when training?
Supplement.
I would figure that you were a supplement guy, being a bodybuilder.
No, man. Honestly, I stick with real food. Like,
really?
I tell people all the time. Yeah, just dieting. Real food, real meals. I take like multivitamins, things like that, like a multi and.
Maybe are you drinking like a dozen eggs in the morning out of a beer mug?
No, I used to do that back in the day when I used to eat like 6 times a day. Now I've turned my diet whole around, just base it more towards fighting style, and because I'm training different now. Back then I was training just for muscle, just to be big and bloated. Now I'm training agility, you know, I do a lot of gymnastic work now. So I do like the rings and a lot of like body weight because I'm already big. You know, I don't need to put more muscle on. I just gotta basically work with what I have. Sorry, that was way too long.
No, that's cool.
No, it's definitely not too long.
No. And I'm glad you said that because that is that's basically a page right out of GSP's book. Like the greatest welterweight of all time trains like that. You know what I mean? Like you watch his training videos, he's doing the rings and the fucking parallel bars and he's doing backflips and shit.
Man, you don't know how strong you are until you get on those rings and try to like do a pull up or like you'll be so you can bench 300-400 pounds, you know, but when you get on one of those things and you can't even do a muscle up or like a pull up, you're like, holy fuck, it changes.
Back in high school, one period a week, we had a thing called activity period, right? So it was like 45 minutes, and some people did chess, some people went and played basketball. There was a ton of different shit.
Would you say high school?
In high school, yeah.
Mike, that sounds like recess.
Yeah, it was one period, only one a week, right?
Yeah.
And there was all these different fucking things that people did. There was cheerleading, whatever the fucking people wanted to do, they did. They had all these different things. So there was gymnastics, right? And me and my buddies, we wanted to start breakdancing, right? Because we would breakdance. Yeah. And we said, how could we do this? So the gym teacher's like, listen, just join the gymnastics one. They've got mats in there, so you can use the mats that are on the ground. And then, you just bring a fucking boombox in there, play your music and breakdance. And then, then there'll be gymnastics going on. So we were like, all right, whatever, we'll just go off in the corner, not pay attention. Well, first of all, great idea because
all the girls are doing gymnastics.
Right. Nothing but girls doing gymnastics. Okay. So listen, guy in high school, whatever, I'm like, holy shit. This is it. As soon as we walked in, we were like, this was the best thing we could ever done. Right. So we got the music going, we're breakdancing. So they're all interested in that. Right. But then on top of it, though, they have the rings in there. They have trampoline. They got the parallel bars. They've got the horse, So like after we were there for a couple of weeks, we started trying to do that shit too, because like breakdancing kind of goes hand in hand with gymnastics. I mean, all the floor moves and the horse, like you actually had to do like a flare. If you can do a flare on the ground, you could do the flare on the horse. It is hard as hell. Like it is unbelievably hard. Especially you watch the Olympics, the things that these people do to stay on there for minutes at a time, like no way, like seconds is hard.
Yeah, man, that's what I try to do. A lot of movement work and just work my body around my opponent, especially with the striking. It's a dance, out there. You gotta, it's a chess game. I'm trying to figure the other guy out. And same thing on the ground. Like as soon as I get a hold of somebody, I can feel my body and wrap my body around them. I can close my eyes and work around based on where their hips go. I know where to go, and I feel like that all comes with movement and working it for so many years. So.
Makes sense, bro. Makes sense. It's all a chess game. Number 2, here we go.
Who is your favorite fighter of all time?
You called it already, GSP.
There you go. There you go. I don't know if you saw that.
Dude, Khabib did a lot. Ben keeps talking with me and Khabib and all this stuff, but Khabib was just a powerhouse. I feel like he literally just ran through everybody, and like if you watch his fights, GSP, I think he did it. I don't want to say when it was harder back in the day, and he came back and did it again. So
he did.
And GSP won fights in more ways than Khabib did. I think that
he got in more battles too. Like you can tell.
You know what? We could go on for hours about that one.
Yes,
I was just gonna say, how many more fights does Kamaru need to win before we start talking about him him over GSP? But we won't do that. That'll be a whole nother show. Number 3, if somebody handed you a briefcase and told you there's a 50-50 chance there's $1 million in there or a bomb that'll explode when you open it, are you gonna open that briefcase?
Nah, probably not. I'm not money crazy, man. I don't need. I don't know. I don't know if I would risk it at this point. No, but maybe, probably not.
All right, number 4.
Number 4, funniest thing you've seen happen in your gym. A funny story can be anything, but something that you just were like, wow, that was pretty fucked up.
Oh boy. Huh. It's not really funny, but I guess a wrestling coach, he always likes to just pressure when he shows the moves, he like shows them 100% pressure. So literally a couple hours ago we were just training and he was showing me like a neck crank basically with the forearm on the net on your throat. And he was showing to the guys, and he was using me, and he's like, "You got to roll their Adam's apple," and he was rolling my Adam's apple up.
Yeah.
I'm like, "I get it, I get it." I couldn't breathe, and he was right on top. I don't know.
Nah,
It's not really funny, but he thought it was funny. He does it all the time.
I'm sure he gets a kick out of it. I had a wrestling coach at NFA back in the day in high school who had one hand, right? He had one good hand, and on this hand he had a fucking what do you call the congenital amputee? He was born without a hand, but he had these two little nub fingers on the end, right? And this motherfucker loved jamming them shits in your mouth. Just fucking dude, he'd crossface you, boom, and that little fucking nub would get caught in the corner of your mouth, and he'd fucking be on top of you, riding your ass, just laughing his ass off. I'd be like, you fucking sick fuck.
Yeah, he would show it like 3 times, and then the other guy would try, and he'd be like, "No, this is how I do it," and he would literally do the same thing and press it down. He's like, "You got to roll the Adam's apple," and he would like roll it up. I'm like, "We get it."
Yeah, fuck that. I don't want anybody rolling my Adam's apple.
All right, last question. Would you rather? You're not fighting. Would you rather be watching boxing or MMA?
MMA.
MMA, because that's what you do.
I like boxing. Like I love watching Canelo, but I don't know. Watch Jake Paul too, but we can talk about that all day too.
Yeah. There's all these topics, man.
You
they
think
can
he's
just
gonna come in MMA.
You know what? I saw him training. I saw him training.
But not against MMA fighters, against boxers.
Dude, he's gonna be smart, man. He's gonna pull it. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry, you got it.
No, but the thing is about Jake Paul and his brother Logan. Now, Logan was better than Jake, but Logan was like an all-state wrestling champion.
I remember that.
Jake also wrestled. So Jake, whether he was an all-stater or not, he has a wrestling background. He's an athlete.
Yeah.
He can strike with his hands. And in the videos, it does look like he can kick pretty good. So, you know what I mean? If this kid does take grappling serious and get a year of jiu-jitsu under his belt, and
if he puts his mind to it, man, I believe it. I mean, time is everything. Time is all we have. So whatever you put your time into it, you can do it. Like I put my time in bodybuilding. I did it. I'm putting my time in this. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it better than anyone out there. And I think he's doing it smart. A lot of people are hating on him, but
he's got the resources to go wherever he wants to. He can go anywhere he needs to go. So he can train with anybody.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. You just put the time into it. And I'm sure he'll pick smart MMA fighters, that he can beat or he thinks he could beat, and go from there.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be fighting a Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, So it's the same thing in boxing. He's going to start off with somebody who might want to do MMA, and that'll be like the first fight, somebody that's popular. Yeah. And then he'll go from there.
But he has to fight a pro, right? Because once you go pro and in one combat sport, you're a pro.
Yeah.
So he can never go fight
right
some amateur MMA guy. He's got to fight a pro somewhere.
That doesn't matter though.
That's why he's like trying to hook up with like Bellator or one of those guys, because Bellator will feed him somebody that he can beat up on.
We've seen some silly shit.
You've seen
Yes, I have.
Put me in there with him.
Yeah, there you go, man. You'll fight him.
Shit, I know, right? Anyone fight him for the payday.
Yeah. It's like Mike said, the kid's got a boatload of money and time. Yeah. And he devotes all his money and time into training, which I mean, love it or hate it, man, he's doing all right for himself. He's no Stunad. I said he's a Stunad a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he's no Stunad.
I take it
no
back.
Stunad. Look at me. I'm a Stunad.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, hey, we're going to give you a minute, shout some people out, thank anybody you want to thank, and then we'll let you get out of here, all right?
Yeah, man. Appreciate. Shout out you guys for having me on here. Appreciate it. Shout out my gym, UA. Always training there. Shout out my girlfriend, family, friends. Shout out Ben too. He's always talking shit. I love it. And everyone supporting me, man. Appreciate it. Tune in on Friday, a week from tomorrow. We're ready to go, and I'm excited. And see you guys there.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody check his social medias at the bottom. Follow this man. He's been smiling since he got on here. He's got a great personality. He's got a lot of skill, and it looks like he's got a very bright future ahead of him. We will see you January 20th at the weigh-ins, and then we'll get to see you tussle on the 21st. There it is, people. Tune in, cagewarsmma.com. Get the pay-per-view. Watch the fights. Mike and Mish will be there live watching this guy in action.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. I'll see you.
Take it easy.
All right.
Woo!
That was Mende, man. That was Mende Cukalevski.
Yep, that's correct. That's
Mende
correct. I even have a
Cukalevski.
little note
Remember
right
the
here.
name. You know what he should do is shave his mustache off. That's the first key to becoming a world champion is to have a beard
last
with
night.
Yep, a beard with no mustache. Ask Khabib, ask Hamzat, ask Zabit, ask Islam Makhachev. These guys are all world beaters. Why? Is it their skill set? No. It's the chin strap beard and the fucking weird letters in their last name.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I've been saying it for a long time, Mike.
You're damn straight.
Yeah. Mende Cukalevski, very cool guy. Thank you for coming on. Quentin Henry was awesome as well. We're waiting on Alan Belcher. Alan Belcher had just got done training. Mike, any word out of him?
No, he said, hey, I just finished training. He answered right away. I said, okay. He said, we're bringing on our third guest. When you're ready, let me know. Haven't heard from him since, so I don't know what he's doing. But I haven't heard from him. I sent out the other invite, and I have not heard back from him either.
Oh, man. So, Mike, let's get back to our Batman conversation. A lot of people weren't here at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It's filler time, folks.
I had some filler myself.
Yeah, we're waiting for
something.
the talent.
It's not really filler.
Alan
It's major
Belcher.
news.
Oh, okay.
Major news, my friend.
Oh, God.
It's major fucking news.
Oh, hey, Joe Miggs.
Joe Miggs, what's up, my man?
Joe. He says, do you guys know anybody interested in making a life-size Hezbollah doll?
No.
He posted a meme earlier today of Mike Tyson biting this kid, right?
Oh, yes, I saw that.
That kid looks
so
like a child Hezbollah. Even though Hezbollah is already looking like a child, that looks like the Hezbollah child, right? And I said,
that shit is kind of funny, though. That kid's crying and he's biting his shirt.
I said, is that why Hezbollah grew up to be such a miserable bastard? And that's where the idea of the full-size life-size Hezbollah doll, like one of those wrestling buddies. Remember those wrestling buddies back in the day? About this big? Get the Undertaker, get the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mike,
I do.
Break some news.
We ain't breaking the news, but it's breaking the news on this show. Like, because we never talked about this before, but we have talked about it before because we talk about it all the time, and we posted about this, and other people have talked about it too, and everybody knew it was going to fucking happen eventually, but it's going to motherfucking happen. Boom! There it is. It's happening. It is happening.
It is happening. It is Britain Beltran versus Christine Faria 2. I know they like to say heart on that poster, and I'm gonna speak on this for a second. Now, they say it's a business move. More people know her as Britain Hart. I rebuttal that, and I say they are working to turn her into a global superstar. What she is known for, she is married to Joey Beltran. Hart was a married name. Her name was Britain Hart because that was her ex's name, right? She is no longer Britain Hart. She wants to be known as Britain Beltran. She has changed all her social medias to Britain Beltran. She is very proud of the Beltran name. Do her the favor, change the poster to her actual name. So when if and when, or whatever you want to say, who knows who wins that one, because Christine Faria took the last one. Britain's a different fighter now. This is going to be a fucking banger fireworks. Great fight.
Oh,
If she goes on to win and they announce the winner, Britain Beltran, and then they have this poster all over the place with heart on it, people are going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm a brand new fan. I'm a brand new fan to Bare Knuckle. What's her fucking name? What's her name? She's a champion. I don't even know what her goddamn name is. Just put her fucking name on the poster. That's all. Sorry.
I'd say it should be up to the fighter. That's what I think. I mean, like you said, they're building her up now, so she should be able to use the name Belcher and be fine. But listen, hey, it's not my decision. I don't fucking know. Who am I?
Did you see
guy.
Eric
I did. I saw that, and I was like, I'm not sure why, because I'm sitting on a high boy chair from a bar. So like, I don't know how I got up here.
Eric, why did you think he was in a wheelchair this whole time? You
can just look at my pictures on Facebook. Not all of them are from the chest up. Like, he just doesn't know. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's standing, but I'm not sure.
Does Mike have the upper body build of one who's been rolling around in a wheelchair?
Listen, you ever see Family Guy? You mean like jacked?
Yeah. You got them noodle legs and the giant.
Yeah.
So, Mike, they made the fight. Britain versus.
They did. I know. No more excuses. No more fanagers in the friggin' comments arguing with each other, which I've gotten sick of over time. Listen to me. Listen to me right now.
Yes, Mike.
I am sick and tired of this shit. I've never seen this before in my life. Listen, okay, I don't follow around Malky Kawa and see what the fuck he's doing on comment sections. But I'm going to tell you what, okay? Since I started following this, and listen, I have love for every single person. Everyone's been so nice to us. So I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I have to fucking admit, I hate when I see managers in comments on other people's pages when they're trying to post something for their fighter. If a fighter says, I'm posting this, and then they're in that person's fucking comments saying, oh, this fighter's better than you. Oh. I'm like, are you a manager or are you a fucking fan, a fanager? I don't understand it. Get in the fucking office and make the goddamn fight if that's what you want. Don't go on fucking Facebook and say, oh, I'm in Britain's fucking in her comments. I'm talking shit, or I'm in Fareed's comment. Listen, if you're the fucking manager, make the fight happen instead of fucking wasting your time on damn comment sections acting like a little child. The end. I get so sick of that.
I don't
shit.
disagree.
I'm telling you, I hate it so much.
I do not.
It drives me nuts. And now it's all out, and I feel so much better. I do love everyone. Thank you.
He's right though. You don't see my Malky.
I just don't understand.
You don't even see. I don't see Kevin, like, you know what I mean. I'm just gonna say Kevin Smith. You don't see him. Maybe it's because Kevin's a little older and he looks,
If it's neutral ground, it's fine. If it's fans and stuff, I see it. But management, sometimes when I see it, it drives me goddamn nuts.
Operate in silence, like Joe Miggs says right there. You got to be a gangster. You got to be operating in silence. Get behind the doors in the office to the big bosses and get the fucking job done. Get the job done. And getting the job done is not going in the comments and tagging.
It's really the comments on the other person's thing. It's like, listen, this is someone's page. This is what they do. You don't need to be in every comment. Like, I just don't get that. That is something I don't understand.
And you'll never understand it, Mike.
No, I don't think it helps.
Did you just nominate next week's Two Nuts?
No, those were back in it's too, But like I said, like, I got love for everybody. I just felt like that needed to be said.
Nah, it needs to be said. So now I'm going to ask you a hard hitting question, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Let's.
The reason why is because we will stay unbiased at all times on this show. If you ask us our opinion on who's going to win that fight, I will not 100% will not tell you who I think is going to win that fight. And Mike won't either. So don't fucking ask. You guys can do that in the comment section. You could do that in the comment section. Make sure you tag their managers so you can argue with them on the internet.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic, because if you do that in the comments of this show, however many comments there are right now, you can multiply it by 5.
I like that.
Yeah, because that's what will happen. Make sure you tag their managers. I got an EKG today, Mike.
You did. This is weird. Did we talk about this yesterday with the EKG?
I think I might have mentioned it. I've been out with COVID. I've been a little fucked up. I was only fucked up for a few days, and one of those days I happened to be doing one of these shows, and you guys said I was a little green behind the gills. Is that the saying, man?
Yeah, green behind the gills.
Green behind I was looking a little fucked up last week, and I really wasn't on my A game last Wednesday, and it was because I got the vid. So I go back to work. And my boss on my job says, hey, you ain't supposed to be here until you're medically cleared. And that means getting an EKG. I'm like, the fuck is an EKG have to do with anything? I was healthy as shit before, and I got the vid, and now it's gone. So I'm back to being healthy Kyle again. They're like, no, not until somebody tells you you're healthy. This guy calls me, and he goes, hey, this is blah, 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 blah from the med det. I got some questions for you. What were your symptoms? I tell him massive, I was very tired, fatigued for a few days, massive headaches, coughing, can't smell shit. How were they mild? I'm like, wow, 2 out of the days I slept till noon. So I barely ever sleep. So for me to sleep till noon, I was pretty fucking tired. He goes, well, then it was more than mild. You need an EKG. I was like, whoa, what? He goes, yep. If you answer any of these questions are answered with a mild or more, it's an automatic EKG. And I'm like, bro, I changed my fucking answer. Barely anything. I'm
gonna change my answer. Yep.
Yeah. I want to change my answer.
I never took my hand off the playing piece. I was right. The move is not made yet.
Yeah, I did not move. I never took my finger off the thing. You know what I mean? It was like so. Anyways, they made me go get the EKG. Turns out I have a very healthy heart. I know you guys all knew that. And I am cleared to go back to work next Tuesday. We have a guest in the green room right now. Yes. I don't see his picture on the screen, though. He is a longtime veteran of mixed martial arts. You guys know him from his years in the UFC. He was a top contender for a while. He was right on the doorstep of fighting for that middleweight title in the heyday fucking Anderson Silva era of the UFC, which is, only killers back then.
That was like the Wild West back then. I feel like that was the craziest time in mixed martial arts history. It was like in the beginning, it was really nuts and everything, but it was more like shock factor. You know what I mean? Once it started to get a little bit like molded, it got really crazy and good. And that is, man, that's my favorite time. That's like going back and looking at WWF and saying, like, what was your favorite time in WWF? The Attitude Era, or that's my favorite time, but then it did start molding stuff, and we had the NWO come out, and then all of a sudden WCW was a big thing, because NWO, but that was the time. So that when Belcher was fighting and Silva, like that was the time. That was the time, man.
Well, let's see if we bring him. You want to message him real quick and see if his camera's on?
Yes. I will.
All right.
I will.
Yeah,
actually, I mean, he's probably listening to us right now. Alan, if you can hear us right now, you might want to back out and then reuse the link again just to try to get your camera to come on. It'll probably pop on.
Yeah. He fought Tony Lopez a couple months back in Biloxi, Mississippi. He put on a hell of a show. It was a great way to make a first impression on the fans of the BKFC, and he's going to have another banger coming up against a fan favorite in the BKFC, Bobo O'Bannon. We talked to Bobo. When did we talk to Bobo? Last week? This week? They're all bleeding. Oh, it's last Wednesday when I was messed up with the Rona. We talked to Bobo, and he's very excited to fight Alan. Want to see if we can get him in here for some audio?
Yeah, why not?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is the one, Alan Belcher. Here we go. Alan.
Hey. What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, sir? Do you not have a camera?
No, I haven't made it home yet, so I have like an hour drive to where I was training tonight. So
Oh, damn.
I couldn't make it home in time, so I'm in my car right now.
All right. We'll just do it like this then. That's cool.
If you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. So, Alan.
All right.
Can you hear him, Mike?
I can hear him. Yep.
Yeah, I got you. Let's go.
All right, dude. Thank you for coming on the show tonight. Everybody knows Alan Belcher from your years in the UFC and, making it all the way right up to the doorstep of Anderson Silva before getting stopped by eye injury. But now you're back, you're healthy, you're big, you're strong, and you're fighting in the heavyweight division in the BKFC. How has the transition been from mixed martial arts professional to bare knuckle professional?
Man, I feel like I've just became a different person all around. So, I learned how to train differently, learned, so much about myself. And, so I'm not really looking at it as like, a certain, a sport where I'm going to throw all my other skill sets out the window, I really like boxing and bare knuckle boxing because it's I'm able to focus on that, and it's easy for me to get back into it after all these years and everything. So that's been part of my secret to my success is just really, focusing on the boxing alone.
Now, we all know we're all very familiar with your career, and we know that you had the issues with the detached retina back in the day. You got it fixed, and then your last fight against Michael Bisping, it got re-aggravated again, and then you retired from MMA. Is the eye is 100% good, and that is not a concern when it comes to bare knuckle? I feel like that would be.
Yeah, it definitely is a concern, but whenever you're passionate about something and you're a real fucking G like I am, then you'd rather lose an eye than not fight. So, to be honest with you, it's more about, I think it's more about does the eye function, or do I have the vision? Do I have the sight, and that can be, reactive, and I can protect myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the only way we can find that out is by training every day and fighting, and I'll tell you, dude, I've done every type of brain training and eye training that there is out there, and I'm constantly studying and researching that. And I believe that we've fixed the issues. And I've been able to get a full peripheral vision, all the way across the board. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, the quick reaction. We've been seeing all the videos on your Instagram and whatnot of you, touching the lights with the quick reaction, brain functions, vision. That's is that something? Right. Is that something that you recently started working into your training, or is that something you've been doing this whole time?
Oh yeah. Everything that I'm doing, like I'm open to all different types of methods and studying tons of different things. So, because I've been going hard, almost like training camp for like the last year, just training every single day, getting ready to go on this run that I'm about to go on. So, my way to progress, I knew that the neuro training was going to be a big part of my success, and longevity to get me to be a top athlete at my age, and now get ready for like another, 5 years, 3 to 5 years or whatever. So, I put that in the training right from the get-go. And my man, Robbie Ellis, the movement doc on Instagram, is a genius with that. So everything from the, not only not only the physical therapy and the strength and conditioning stuff and the mindset, dude, getting into the mindset and the mentality, emotional intelligence type of shit. We could go out some rabbit holes of what me and Robbie have been working on. But even just his ability to just research things and figure out how to fix problems has been a game changer, man. He's MVP on the team. So we fixed this thing, dude. I can see. Not only can I see better than you, I have fucking superhuman reaction and shit. And it's from training. You know what I mean? Like, my belief on all that is completely changed. So before, when the doctor told me that I couldn't fight, I'm like, this is a doctor. He's telling me I can't fight. But really, you don't really know what it means to be in there and needing what you need to see and everything.
Now,
so I took it upon myself to fix that problem and be able to fight.
Yeah, you look great in your debut in bare knuckle. We hadn't seen you in a long time. You fought a gigantic guy with 120 fights, Tony Lopez, who doesn't get knocked out by anybody. So we didn't expect you to knock him out, but you did display your skill set inside the bare knuckle ring, and it was a great performance.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
It was a mental win for me. After 8 years coming back, and it kind of hit me at the last little bit that I was like, man, this is a really intense way to come back, because it's such a different sport than MMA. Just all those, just being not rusty, but being like off the stage for 8 years. But I brought it all together just with a lot of mental training and just mindset, making sure that I was always just throwing out the bullshit and staying focused on, being calm and going in there. And I really felt better than I ever have in any fight. Getting ready for the fight and going in there, I felt like, wise, experienced, and, just somebody that has been doing it for a while. I feel like I didn't miss a beat at all.
Nah, you didn't look like you did, Alan. I would say that you actually look better nowadays. You're bigger, stronger, faster. You got the shaved head and the beard look going. I'm saying, like, it's a whole new Alan Belcher. But also, during that 8-year break, though, you were developing businesses and doing really well for yourself, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm going to do what it takes to make, to push whatever I'm doing. So, I mean, I really got into business. That was part of, walking away from fighting too, is just other projects and other people and other things and whatever, kind of distracting me from what I was really meant to do, which is live this warrior lifestyle and continue to find out how far I can push myself,
No.
And so I did some other things, but at the end of the day, man, God tells you what to do, and you'll have tons of anxiety and you'll be fucked up until you do the right thing and go down the right road. So, I said, you know what, dude,
Time to get back
if you're
in.
gonna do it now.
Did somebody approach you on coming to bare knuckle, or is it something that you had been watching and growing interest in it and was like, you know what, that's what I want to do? Or did somebody approach you on it?
All right. So how that happened was bare knuckle came to Biloxi. Biloxi is becoming like a hotbed for for MMA, boxing, and combat sports, all in general. Tons of fights down here at the casinos, and the regulations were in favor of like bare knuckle. So bare knuckle came to town, and we're excited to be get some guys some work and things. So friends and guys from different gyms around my gym, some of my guys that trained at my gym and my training partners, my buddies, have fought in bare knuckle. So that's how I got exposed to it, kind of being in the back and cornering some guys. And we got Jason Knight in there, and I was kind of negotiating with Feldman on his money deal, and the pay-per-view buys and things like that. And so we kind of got a relationship going, and he brought up the idea of me fighting a couple times because he knew it'd be kind of like a UFC fan draw and a local draw, so it'd be like a win, So he was looking at it from a business perspective, and I didn't completely throw the idea out, but I really wasn't interested in fighting at that time. And some things changed, man, and I just kind of decided to get in really good shape, and was just like, all right, now what? Let's do this. Because, I was, 35, 36 at that time, and I was like, if I go hard now, I'm going to be able to, get a good long career. And it's almost like I took some time off and might have avoided some damage here or there, and I'll let myself develop. I was fucking rushing like a madman when I was fighting in the UFC. I wanted to fight for the belt every single fight.
Yeah.
So I put myself in this pressure situation of wanting to go straight to the top right away, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't good enough. My mind wasn't ready. I needed to grow up. I needed to become a man. So that time off was just the universe's way of just making what needed to happen to help me go as far as I can go in the sport.
Yeah, man. You have a hell of a story. You had a great MMA career, like we said earlier, cut short for reasons out of your hands. But you came back, you made a really great performance in your first trip back on the big stage in 8 years. And now you find yourself fighting a guy who happens to be one of the fan favorites of the organization that you're fighting in now, Bobo O'Bannon. What are your thoughts on Bobo, and how excited are you when they offered you that name? Did you know Bobo?
Yeah, so I know, if I've sparred with Bobo, it might have been once a long time ago, but I definitely have known who he is. We live, maybe an hour apart. He's over in Alabama. I'm in Mississippi. I remember when Bobo he was coming up boxing.
I think we might have lost him there.
Alan, I think you fell off.
He's still here, so maybe he hit just a spot, and then any second now he'll just come back and he'll be still talking as if he never got off. That does happen sometimes. Yeah, he said he had an hour drive, so he's probably driving through a few areas where there's not so great of internet.
Right. Eric Williams says, dude got a lot bigger since UFC. Yeah, well, you know what? When he left the UFC, that was 8 years ago, and he's 37 now, so he was 29 years old. Like he just said, he was becoming a man. So now he is a 37-year-old father of two, business owner, and he's got grown man strength now. So yeah, he fought at 185 pounds in the UFC. Hey, man.
There? Hey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we lost you for a second there, Alan. But when you fell off, hey,
there he is.
You guys there?
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Oh,
shit!
Look at that. Boom.
We had his face for a second.
We had audio, then we had his face, and then now here we are. But I'm sure he'll jump. He can hop back in.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get a quick video feed going on. So far so good. It's pretty cool to be talking to Alan Belcher right now. I mean, everyone who
knows
follows combat sports. You know, you
got to remember,
know
man. He was a fast riser in the UFC. He was he went from debuting to like top 10 like very, very quickly, and he's back. Let's see if we got him.
I'm back.
Alan, what's up, dude?
What's up? I made it home now. I'm in my car.
Oh,
so
wow.
Thanks for
you must have been driving fast.
Ah,
yeah, no problem, man.
good.
We were very excited to see you and talk to you. When your signal dropped off, we had just talked about Bobo O'Bannon being a BKFC fan favorite, and now getting an opportunity to fight him. He's coming off a 3-fight win streak, very impressive. What were your thoughts on Bobo? You fell off when you started talking.
Okay. Yeah. So Bobo, I know Bobo. We came up at the same time. Him in boxing, me in MMA. I think we sparred together one time, maybe a long time ago. He's kind of like one of those guys where, you know, he's a hometown guy, same thing. So it definitely, not somebody that I would definitely didn't want to fight my first bare knuckle fight. But, you know, when it comes down to it, it's a business thing. And I think it's a good opportunity for both of us, honestly. You know, it's a good opportunity for me to take a step up and fight someone that's ranked that'll put me up higher, and this is a little bit more dangerous, you know, all that type of stuff. It's good for me, and for him, it's an opportunity because I mean,
you're well known.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good opportunity for him. If he beats me, he becomes, you know, he's really, it's fucking great for him. So hell yeah, you better believe he's gonna come and try to beat me, and he's gonna believe that he can beat me.
Well, Alan, when we were down in Biloxi, we were there live. We covered the event, and when we went to breakfast, there was a waitress, and we got to talk, and we were standing at like a bar. We were getting takeout for breakfast, and we got to talking about why we were there and everything. And we mentioned different fighters. And then as soon as we said your name, like I'm telling you, these people had no idea bare knuckle fighting. They didn't know MMA. They didn't know any other fighter on the card. But as soon as we mentioned your name, they're, oh, yeah, I know who that is. And we're like, oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. So boom. Well, he's fighting, you know, a half a mile up the road. Maybe you should buy some tickets, you know? So people know who you are. I mean, it's so, you know, Bobo fought that night too, and no offense to Bobo, but like they didn't know who he was. So obviously, yeah, if he fights you and wins, man, that's it's a huge for him. So I feel like that's even more pressure on somebody like you coming in, because people like know who you are and expect more, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, have you paid attention? Have you paid any attention to any of the media out there? I gotta say, I don't want to like throw anybody under the bus, but a lot of the bare knuckle media out there is thinking that Bobo's, I don't know if they forget who you are or something. I swear to God, I had a conversation with someone earlier, and they're like, oh, Bobo's gonna fucking sleep him. I'm like, Bobo's gonna sleep him? I'm like, dude, who do you think he's fighting? Honestly, Bobo will have the size advantage because he's about 25 pounds bigger than you, but you guys are almost the same height. The reach is almost the same. He might have the size and maybe a little power because of the size, but as far as like skill set, movement, technique, the level of competition that you have fought in your career compared to his career, no offense to him, you have fought an extremely higher level of competition. So I don't know if you heard that, but like when people say that, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. Like, I don't know how this fight's going to turn out, but I don't think he fucking sleeps you in the first round like these guys are talking. I don't know.
Right. It's let's just say logically, and it's a very winnable fight for me. But this time around, man, I'm not even really looking at it like that. I don't look too deeply into my opponent. I know what I need to do to beat him. And for me, it's just about
creating a masterpiece, a fucking artwork performance out there. And you know what? I am slightly disappointed in my performance. As far as the fighting, what I did in the fight didn't feel that good. Now mentally, it was a win for me to get in there and do that. But I definitely found some things that I could really work on. My calf I had been having this calf strain for the few weeks before that, so my footwork was a little weird, and I was really moving my head on the inside slip with the straight. So I was really almost overusing that, and I wasn't throwing hooks, and I wasn't sitting down on my punches and some things like that. So either way, I've been progressing so fast, man. I feel like I'm getting so good. I want to just display that and see how well I can fight against Bobo, you know?
Right.
And I want to, and you know, no disrespect to Bobo or anything like that. But I just believe I'm going to knock everyone out from now on. And that's another thing that I learned in this fight is that, you know, it's knocking people out is a different level. And I'm ready to step through that door and just become a fucking knockout artist. So, well,
and
I've had a couple of boxing matches. I had some easy opponents since that bare knuckle fight. And that's what I've kind of been working on, is like not knocking them out, but like just the whole mindset of how to throw the power shots and set down on them and stuff. So I'm using this as a learning experience, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to get better and better with each one of these bare knuckle fights and the boxing matches. And then about a year from now is going to be a huge payday fight in boxing or MMA. That's my goal. I just kind of wanted to put that out there, and so you can quote me on it. So a year from now, you'll see.
Well, I would say right now in BKFC, yes, this will only be your second fight. But if you win this one, you're fighting a well-known heavyweight that's on a 3-fight win streak that's looked really well in his last 3 fights, and the pool of names that are in the conversation for a title shot is pretty short. You know what I mean? So like you go out there and you do your thing against Bobo. I would imagine a title shot would be in the near future for you. Josh Burns just left.
Yeah.
You got Dylan Kleckler, you got Frank Tate, you got a few other guys running around. Sam Shoemaker could get back in there again, but I would say that this puts you right there in the conversation with a victory over Bobo. I don't know if you've thought about that, or if that's been a conversation with the bosses.
No. That's fine. That's cool. I'm not totally concerned with that right now. I know that the time will come for that. Like I said, man, I'll trace that title shot way too hard and too fast in my first go around. Now I'm dealing with less time left, but I have to time it correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, do you have are you aware of how he is cornered? Being a guy who's run gyms with the Bluetooth.
Yeah, the headphones.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this because you've been in the game for a long time. You've ran gyms, you've opened gyms, you've coached, you've fought. What are your thoughts on someone having a head coach in their corner that's watching on a TV screen and talking through a Bluetooth?
I mean, I think to the average person that probably seems, well, maybe to a very, very average person that might seem cool, but slightly educated fans and, you know, people that know something probably think that that's
insane,
pretty fucking silly. But, you know, one thing I've learned in my life is to, you know, keep an open mind. So, you know, fuck, if it works, maybe there's something there that I'm not seeing, but whatever. I don't have a need for that right now.
Yeah. When we first talked to him,
concerned with it.
Yeah, when we first talked to him and he told us he was doing that, we got done talking to him, and I was telling Mike, I'm like, that sounds like the most fucking insane thing I've ever heard in my life. What?
Well, we weren't sure it was legal to begin with. Like, I didn't know somebody could even do that per rules, you know?
Yeah,
Is he wearing something in his ear while he's fighting?
No. So I compared it to like somebody on like an NFL football field. Like if somebody's watching something on the TV and then phones down to the head coach on the sideline and they make a change in their game plan. That's the kind of way I was looking at it, like that. If this coach is watching on TV and he's seeing something different and he's talking to the guy in the corner, but from what I understand is he has somebody in his corner wearing a Bluetooth. His coach is watching it on TV, and then he's talking to the guy.
And there's a delay too.
Yeah, he has like a 2 or 3 second delay. He's talking to the guy on the headset, and that guy is communicating it to Bobo in the ring with a 3 second delay. And then in between rounds, they take the headphones off and they stick them on Bobo's head in between rounds. The dude talks to him, and then he takes the headphones off and goes back to work.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I don't know. It seems to work for him, though. He's got 3 wins in a row doing it.
It seems kind of egotistical to be like, I'm a fucking god coach and I should be in your ear. Like, what the fuck? Whatever. If it works, it works. But it's not going to work against me. Knock him out.
His coach is, just to play devil's advocate, his coach lives in, I think he lives
England.
in the UK.
Yeah, he's in England.
So he can't get over here.
Yeah, it's an odd dynamic, but
it is weird.
Nah, man. Very, very cool to talk.
His coach lives on Mars.
All right, man. Well, you know what? You know, everybody always knows you for, if they don't know you for the fighter that you were and everything, they know you for the thing that is on your arm. Can we bring that up for a second? How proud are you that you have people in the comment section asking about the tattoo? They fucking love it. It's like it's got a cult following, man. The Johnny Cash. It's great.
Bro, Johnny Cash, man. I mean, yeah, he's got his own fan club, bro.
He does.
Yeah, man, no, that's cool. That's cool. Johnny Cash is definitely part of my identity, man.
It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's kind of what I dreamed of when I got the tattoo. Actually, it's like everyone always asks me, like, "What's the story? Do you like Johnny Cash or whatever?" And yeah, I like Johnny Cash, but it's like this guy was gonna tattoo me, and he was like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "That fucking Johnny Cash shit." And I was like, my thought process was like, "What is gonna be very memorable? What's gonna make me famous?" Kind of like everybody just gets a face tats now.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll put some shit on my face and be famous, motherfucker. And I was like, hey, what can I get? Like, I think I like those portraits. They're always pretty, that's pretty rad. So
yeah, it's like Darren Till has
a portrait of Johnny Cash. I knew people would remember what it was,
Yeah.
Or close to it.
You ever see Darren Till's portrait that's on his arm that everyone thinks is Paige Van Zandt, but it's just like an ex-girlfriend of his?
Yeah. That's funny.
It's not quite as good as the Johnny Cash.
Like, getting your fucking ex's name isn't bad enough. You got to get a friggin' portrait. I mean, God.
Fucking Stunad.
You can do things to the portrait though that you can't do to the name, like put a dick on her head or like put a mustache on her or something.
True. Yeah, you could give her face tattoos.
Yeah.
You give her face tattoos. A little dick right here, a little fucking crazy ass shit on her head. You know what I just noticed? I have my billboard mats from Tommy Clohessy, and it just happens to be the Alan Belcher one. Look at that.
That's your
I use it all the time when we do I use it all the time when we do the show to put my drink on, as a coaster. And it happens to be, we have a few of them out there. Yeah, that's right. Look at that. Boom.
What do I
just noticed that shit? Yeah. Just noticed.
Yeah.
Every time we go there,
I need new photos and shit for
what?
We lost him again.
I was gonna say I can't wait to get new photos and everything. I look a lot different than I did in my debut. I've lost a lot of weight and become more lean, and
now
I'm I'm getting USADA ready. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
That's a process.
So you were 231 last fight. You looking to come in a little less than that? You're saying? You're saying like, you know, are you looking to be a little
I'm in the
smaller or
low
just leaner?
220. I was no, I've been in the 222, 223 for about a month or two now, holding right there, and I got as low as 219, and then I just kind of fattened myself up and kind of did some heavy lifting and things in the last couple of weeks just to get ready for training camp, and now I'm gonna kind of slide down to the 220 mark and come in like a fucking machine.
Is that where you want to stay for the remainder of your career, or would you consider going down the 205?
Yeah, I mean, well, what I figured out was that at 220, that's where I have my maximum amount of explosion and speed for knockout, and I can control my body the way that I want to, but I have enough power to wrestle them and enough power, you know, to obviously hurt them with body shots or whatever. And just so happens it's in range of like, you know, cruiserweight and 205. And before I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, if I'm gonna do this again, I'm just gonna do heavyweight. But now that I really am enjoying being at this 220, and it looks like that's where I'm gonna stay from now on with like where my hormones are, you know. My hormone levels are not, my testosterone is not like super jacked up. It was higher for my last fight, I would say, because I've been kind of getting lower and lower. But now, and you'll see when I fight too, I don't look like I'm all juiced up on steroids. Before, a lot of the lifting style and things that I was doing with bodybuilding, because I've been doing bodybuilding type of aesthetic training also with athletic training, and I've pretty much given all that, sacrificed all that, so I'm not going to be as pretty, but actually I do think I'm still pretty,
but you'll be more explosive. So now this makes it even more interesting to know that Bobo comes in around 255-ish, 250, 255-ish, and you're going to come in there 220. There's going to be
I hope he comes in heavy as shit.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a massive distinct speed.
Yeah, let me tell you what a lot of people don't realize about fights, and this one especially. This is a fight. If Bobo could get his weight down to where I am by the fight, he'd be a bad motherfucker. He ain't gonna do it though. He's gonna come in heavy. He's gonna be slow, and I'm gonna hit you in the body, Bobo. I'm gonna hit you, bruh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna test it,
dude. I cannot freaking wait for this fight. It's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be a great fight, though, man.
Awesome.
It's gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah, the entire event, man. They've built a nice card around you guys. I mean, the main event, the title fight, Caleb Harris and Alvin Brito's going to be great. You got freaking you guys. You got Quentin Henry, and Chris Sarro.
Caleb Harris is a stud.
Yeah, we love Caleb. Is he's really coming out of his shell too as a personality. He's a great interview right now.
You know who looked good
he's a
against
good dude, professional athlete.
You know who looked good against top talent in the women's division? Hannah Guy. How about that? 5 rounds she went.
Yeah, what did you think about that, man?
Yeah, she did. And
she took that fight on like 2 weeks' notice, right?
Yeah, she did. You know, she did it for the experience, to, you know, put herself in a pressure situation, no matter where she's going in life, whether it's MMA fighting or whatever she decides. I was like, do this for the experience, you know, do this for the experience. And she gets it.
Yeah, she did great.
It's about that lifestyle and having that type of heart. It's not about the money. It's not about, you know, it's kind of like putting yourself in a situation where you're not that's not your comfort zone because she's not a boxer, you know, she's a grappler.
Yeah.
Right.
But it made her level up really fast. Her skills in 2 weeks training for that was leveled up quickly because you have to.
Well, she
right?
hung in there for
And
5 full
now,
rounds with one of the top 3 girls in the division. So that's something to be proud of for sure. She looked great and showed a massive amount of toughness for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's a little badass. And she could be really good at it too. She's going to be awesome at MMA for sure.
Right. Was that like a one and done thing for her, you think?
I think so for now. She's not in a real big hurry to get back in there, you know, and I don't blame her. She got that experience, but you know, you don't want to keep going in there and getting hit. I think she might do it again later when she gets slick enough to not get hit that much, you know, when in her sparring sessions, she's not getting hit and she's doing MMA fights and not getting blasted, you know, because, yeah, that's not what fighting's about, right? You want to try not to get hit.
Right. Yeah. And that's a tough sport to avoid getting hit. It's a small circle. You're inside a small ring.
Hard not to get hit in bare knuckle.
Right. It's a small piece of real estate, and it's 2 rounds. The pace is insane. Yeah, people get their eyes really get open to the sport once the first bell rings and they knuckle up for sure.
Yeah.
Mike, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I think that this sport is going to blow up. We're at the early stages, and I do think, like Kyle said, once people start seeing this sport, it opens people's eyes, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Because I know I fell in love with it immediately, and it's just a matter of time before it has that snowball effect.
Yeah, it's in the early stages of like mid-90s. Actually, it's progressing faster than like the UFC did in the early days for sure.
Right,
It's progressing much faster, and it's becoming a much bigger sport faster than MMA did, because at the beginning everybody wanted to call it cockfighting and shit.
And we didn't have social media either. We had none of this, so you couldn't show people. You just had this, hey, UFC won, all anything goes, and then they got canceled basically, and nobody would ever play it anywhere. So that's not how it is nowadays. You can put it on YouTube anywhere. It's here. You can put it in people's faces. So
yeah, man.
Looking forward to your fight. Absolutely. It's going to be awesome. Everybody better be tuning in.
Yeah, we're gonna. Hey, can I ask you a couple like off the wall questions that really don't have anything to do with fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do a speed round. You, number 1, you ever put ketchup on steak? Fuck.
Every once in a while, if the steak is really overdone and fucked up.
Okay.
But no, that's not a normal thing.
No, that's not a normal thing.
If it's a shit steak, grab the ketchup.
There's a funny story about that. The reason why I asked this question to people is I got these real nice steaks one night. I had my mother-in-law came over to have dinner with me and my wife. Real thick cut, real nice steaks, cooked a medium rare. They're perfect. She sits down at the table and she's like, "Where's the ketchup?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "We don't fucking do that here." She was like, "Well, I'm not going to eat it without ketchup." I'm like, "Well, then you're not gonna, yeah." I said, "You'll never fucking eat steak again in my house. Get out." Anyway, number 2, here we go.
Best piece of advice that you can give to an up-and-coming fighter trying to
you
make
didn't really do that to your mother-in-law, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't kick. No. But I did tell her, Alan. I said, no. We don't put ketchup on steak in this house. We don't do that shit. No way. I'm like, especially not that steak. She got up from the table, walked to the fridge, got fucking ketchup, came back, sat down, put ketchup all over that shit. And I was like, I said, that's the last steak you'll ever eat in my house. I love your daughter.
Now she lives downstairs half the
Yeah,
year.
now she lives downstairs. I swear to God, she's
No
downstairs
steaks for
right
her.
now. Yeah. Fucking goddamn Anyways,
Cool.
that's a sour spot in my life. Here we go. Number 2.
You could tell it really affected him. Best piece of advice that you can give to an up and coming fighter trying to make it in MMA.
Don't get your feelings hurt very easily, and just stay calm in the long range. Don't get too tied up in the ups or the don't believe all the hype, and whenever you lose, don't get down in too much of a hole, because everybody loses. You just keep going.
Right. Don't try to win the world.
That's my best advice.
That's
look
great.
Longer term, and don't try to fight the best person in the world every damn fight like I used to.
That's what I figured that's what you were going to say, because earlier.
Deflate your ego a little bit, and fight a lower level competition, because you're a lower level competition than what you think, actually.
Yeah.
So
that's a freaking great piece of advice. Number 3, what is your favorite fight? What was your favorite fight during your time with the UFC? Do you have one that was like your favorite fight of all time?
It has to be Huzimar Palhares. That was a really, really fun, rewarding victory that I put in the work for, and everything came together at the right. It's like one of those that you just keep trying to have that training camp and peak for the fight and do the things that you practice. That's the one that just nailed it. And it was, I didn't just like demolish them, right? It was a struggle. It was a struggle, the whole thing. And also everybody else loves it so much. And I get that, when someone recognizes me, that's what they say first, is that fight. So it's a big, big part of my career. So that's definitely my favorite fight.
And he's, let's be honest, he's not the most liked person in the world. So
no, he is
I'm
not.
sure a lot of people got some joy out of seeing that. I mean,
I got to play the hero. I got to play the good guy in that episode. It was cool.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Non-fight question.
Which Disney princess would make the best MMA fighter? Because I have a daughter. I know you've got a daughter. Look at Disney princess time.
That would be the redheaded one from the
Brave.
Bow and Arrow. What was her name?
Yeah, Brave.
Brave.
Mirda.
Yeah.
What's Braveheart? Yeah,
Brave.
Mirda.
Mirda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely her, because she was a badass, and she's Irish or Scottish or some bullshit like that, where they know how to take punches to the face and die. And fight to the death and stuff with bare knuckle boxing.
I forgot all about her.
So yeah,
when we were coming up with these questions, I thought Mulan would be like the go-to answer, but the chick from Brave, that's a good question, a good answer. And the last one for you, sir, I saw you training the other day, and I had to ask you this question: would you rather train at Cobra Kai, Miyagi-Do, or Eagle Fang?
Oh shit! What is Eagle Fang?
Oh, you're not caught up on the Cobra Kai. I see. Johnny Lawrence has split away.
I've watched a couple of episodes, but I don't really watch TV that much.
So Johnny Lawrence is no longer Cobra Kai. He started his own dojo called Eagle Fang, and it's got this ridiculous eagle on it with fangs. And
I've watched enough episodes to see which way they're going with his character and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I would have to say no with that. But dude, you know what I always say is like, I'm Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, so what's the motherfucker gonna do?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I train at both.
You get the balance there, right?
Yep, that's right. The yin and the yang. The yin and the yang.
You got the balance of offense and defense. You know what Johnny says? The best defense is a good offense. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for
more on fit.
Yeah.
Put him in a body bag.
Put him in a body bag. Now, thank you for giving us some of your time. It's a real honor to talk to you, man. We've been fans of yours for a long time. You wanna give us a final prediction for you and Bobo on January 29th in Jackson, Mississippi?
100% is going to be a knockout in the first or second round. Yeah, for sure. I'm still learning bare knuckle, so I can't call my round. I'd like to do it in the first, but I'm going to get him out of there by the second. But that's just the mission I'm on, guys. That's just where I'm at in my life right now. I'm going to knock everyone out. It doesn't matter who it is.
I love it, man.
I like Bobo, but everybody's getting knocked out from now on. So knockout by the second round.
Yeah. Well, you can be friends after. You know, it's a sport. You can be friends afterwards.
There we go.
There you go, buddy.
100%.
Yeah, everybody, make sure you are following Alan Belcher Official on Instagram. You can see all his training videos and all the cool shit that he's doing nowadays, and make sure you tune in. Thank you very much for coming on. It was an honor to talk to you again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Take
Have
it
a good
easy.
one.
Have a good night.
Bye. Yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Another UFC vet coming through.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very, very cool. Add someone else to the list there. We've talked to many, many people, and I thought it was cool. See, I thought we lost him earlier because he was going to come on, and then something happened, and but boom, here we are. So 2 hours and 25 minutes into the show, and I think it's time that we retire for the night. Kyle, what do you say?
What happened to our fourth guest?
I don't know.
No call, no show. God damn it.
No call,
okay,
no
so here's the deal. I was gonna suggest to him that when we get to New York, myself, Kyle Glasheen, Kyle Kahler, we all get together. We slam some monsters. We punch some drywall. We talk shit on our dads. You know what I mean? And we fucking
Glasheen might not show. That's what I'm saying.
We do some fucking straight Kyle shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could do Kyle shit, but this one Kyle, man, he just doesn't want to show up. I don't know what's up. I don't know. Maybe something's going on. Maybe not. I don't know. But he did not show.
Hey, he's got a fight in a week. He's
got a fight in a week. So we'll see him in a week. We'll get an interview then.
So thank you very much to Quentin Henry. Always a great interview. Thanks for coming through. Good luck to you and Chris Sarro on the 29th. Thank you very much to Mende Cukalevski. God damn it. I said it so good earlier. Cukalevski.
There he is right there.
Quentin Henry, Chris Sarro, January 29th. Make sure you're tuning into that one. Thank you, Quentin, for coming through. Thank you to Alan Belcher for coming through, giving us the interview. He will be fighting Bobo O'Bannon January 29th. That's going to be a banger. Everyone, boy, there's a lot of mixed opinions on the outcome of that one. And we just asked him, and the guy himself said first or second round knockout.
That's what he said.
If you are knocking out,
I heard it.
If you are knocking out a big man, a big country boy like Bobo O'Bannon, you are packing some fucking thunder in that goddamn hand of yours. So best of luck to Alan and Bobo in that one.
Yep.
And thank you, Mende, for coming on. Make sure you guys are following all their social medias. Make sure you're liking and sharing this broadcast, and make sure
share, subscribe. Go to YouTube. If you didn't subscribe on YouTube, please go to YouTube and subscribe. Help your boys make some money off of this YouTube channel. Please get over there and do that.
Let's keep growing this thing. With that said, thank you very much. We have 2 or 3 fighters for next Wednesday. I know Ryan Jones is coming through. We got a couple more Cage Wars fighters coming through.
Yes, we do. Almaro.
And
so we got Jeremiah Riggs from BKFC. He'll be fighting in BKFC on the 29th, right? Ryan Jones, we all know who that is. He will also be fighting. He's fighting Boss Hog. And then we have Cage Wars, Almaro. That's on the 19th, the day before we leave to go to Cage Wars and cover that shit live. It's going to be awesome.
With that said, we are excited. Thank you guys for tuning in 2 nights in a row. It's been 2 hours and 28 minutes, and you're still with us. Thank you very much. We love you. Peace.